Hey, here we are, YouTube. Hopefully we sound good and look good.
Hello.
That's what I thrive for. Good-looking, good-sounding show. I was just going through with the guys here what we're doing today. So Michael Ray Bauer, the thing that we didn't get to with Anthony on Saturday. And then we have Pure Genuine.
Yay.
Pure Genuine. Chris has a new stinger for that.
It's true.
It's exciting. Doesn't take much to get me excited, though. And then I have, let's see here. Oh, yeah, Howard Stern. And then Opie. And then a game. Uh-oh, someone's got a dog to attend to. It sounds like.
What gave it away?
All right. Now it's making sense to me. Now the whole thing is coming to light.
New shit has come to light.
Yes. Adam, I heard you might be meeting up with a mutual friend of ours tonight.
Yes, and I believe that mutual friend spent the day at Pickwick's.
He sent me photos of it. He was talking to the bartenders and shit. Yeah.
It is so much smaller and more depressing than we even imagined.
I imagined it was going to be like kind of a dive bar.
I
to be
didn't
honest
think
with
it
you.
would be that shitty. I thought it was like kind of up. I bought what he was selling, that it was a little more upscale, that it was a restaurant. It's a shitty pub.
Well, it is funny. Can you turn your level up? You're quiet, very quiet.
Oh, yeah, I sure can.
Yeah,
Here you go. How's that?
Yes.
Crank it up, maybe get closer to the microphone, all the things you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in my studio. I should be doing this, but...
Well, I'm used to the Tonight Show.
Earn your...
You figure it out.
I don't have to give tips when I'm on the Tonight Show.
I'm getting a beer. You figure it out.
Yeah, you two figure it out. He said everyone at Pickwick's was a regular. Like there wasn't anybody that didn't know each other, and it was very inclusive and very sad. And to think those are the people that were more important than John's family.
Was he there at 4 p.m. is my question.
Good point. This was an earlier crowd.
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't know if that makes it better.
Or worse, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Last time I was out in L.A., I was visiting with a guy who lives not far from Pickwick. He lives in Encino.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought about it for a second. Then we're like, nah. It's the same reason why I can't go to Niles
I understand.
this Friday.
Yeah.
But people are going. In fact, you know who's going to Niles? Very exciting. Clearwater Chad.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
He's going on Friday night, and he will be calling in to be dabbling live Saturday morning
Very cool.
to talk about it. I know
Oh, you
Producer
mean
Chris
to-
is still on the fence.
To betray John.
I know, right? You turned on me. We're going to get the show started real soon. We got a really fun show prepared. It's packed. So much to talk about. Adam's got the longest clips in the history of clipping.
I'm shot out of a cannon.
I got so much going on. You know, we got the super tip system everyone's raving about.
Yeah.
I see Red Bar is raving about the super tip system. He loves it. Everyone's talking about it. And actually, since I'm talking about it, I should probably talk through it.
Some people are saying that I'm craving Dylan Mulvaney's Twink Juice, and also that I won't read your super chats.
Oh, yes. I keep a twink farm in my rape dungeon. I mean, art studio. I squeeze my twinks every day for that delicious, nourishing juice.
That's me and Woke Dad hanging out, like you see all the time. Joe Spasto coming in.
Happy birthday, Matt Fish. Enjoy some delicious Come On Me.
Wow, so it's JT's birthday and Mad Fish's birthday today. This is a cause for some serious celebration.
Wow. And you get a loaded baked potato.
I'm excited about that.
Chris, can you isolate the come on me and then just send me that?
Tony Muskrat. Yeah, that's producer Chris's job. You do.
Thank you.
Tony Muskrat became a YouTube member. Thank you, Tony Muskrat. One of the great song parody guys.
Absolutely.
And also did very well in our game show that we did on our Patreon. We had a Who Are These Podcasts game show. Arctan64 became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Arctan64, of course, becoming a YouTube member get you the bonus shows. I just recorded one yesterday with Blind Mike, a little crossover action.
Really?
You might want to check out because Julia Fox's book is getting, it's really funny. And then the other thing we looked at was, it wasn't Darman, but it was a similar thing to Darman. It's like the low budget Darman.
Yeah, you've been telling me about this.
Yeah, Samir is his name or something like that. I could never remember his name. But
Low level Darman.
yeah, I know. It's like the poor man's Darman, whatever that is.
That's crazy.
And it's the funniest freaking thing. And the whole thing is like, in order to get clicks on YouTube, the title has to say, you won't believe the end. The end is shocking.
Yes.
You can't believe what's going to happen at the end.
Oh, I've seen a few of those unbelievable episodes.
Yeah, so he wrote that a few times. And it is shocking. I'll give him that. I wasn't going to predict it. Anyway, that's on our bonus show. And if you sign up for our YouTube, become a member, or sign up on our Patreon, you get that. Dame Taft, Wednesday WTP viewers are abhorrent. I saw one loitering in a public restroom. That's not true.
Fake news.
That's fake news. I'm not going to hang here and listen to that.
You are fake news.
Yeah, that's correct, Donald.
The Wednesday listeners are superior, and they know that. Everybody knows that.
Well, except for this past Saturday, though.
That's true. Then this last
There
Saturday
was,
was
there
the
was
best
an
one.
exception.
You're
I mean,
right.
there's an
You got a good
exception
point
to
there.
every rule, obviously.
That was fun on Saturday.
That was. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And now the letdown episode.
Stop it.
All right, let's get into it. Unless you had more to share with the class, Adam. I didn't want to.
I'll drop little tidbits as we go on.
I don't want to step on your toes. Okay. You know what? I should ask my man Alex Gangrenously, who created this. I wonder if we should get an updated version of this. It still has, a lot of these characters are still hanging around.
I would say every season we should have a new one.
Every season.
And some people die off.
That is true. Maybe we'll get an updated one. I'd like to see what Adam looks like as a South Park character.
It's probably like, what is it? Who's the Canadian brother? The little kid?
Oh, Ike. You'd be
I
like
think it's
Ike?
kinda like that. You just like an egg face.
Is that what your mouth
Probably.
looks like? I used to have "Don't Kick the Baby" on my board somewhere.
Really?
Yeah,
Don't Kick the
because for the creep off.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now I just play the Monday
Don't
Night,
nuke the baby.
now I just play the Monday Night Football music whenever we talk about throwing babies. But that's neither here nor there, guys.
That's a lot classier.
It's a different show that I do with a whole other cast of characters.
All right.
Comes up a lot, though.
Although Vinny will be on this Saturday.
Very good.
Yeah, we're teasing before the teaser today.
I love Dick.
Goat Melp, $5 says, forgive my ignorance, but how does someone submit a Stut Joe short film asking for a friend? Well, that is a great, great question, Goat Melp, because the answer is somewhere in my notes.
So tell your friend the following.
It's actually on the scroll. I'll wait for it. It's coming. I swear to God.
the ever popular place to
I
send
should memorize this email
friend's
address.
film.
It's not a hard, it's like dabblefilmfest@gmail.com. If you send your video.
Show off.
I think that's it.
We're almost there.
I know, we're almost there. Dabble Film Fest. So I remember we were on the meeting and someone said, make a Dabble Film Festival. And I think it was Vinny was just like, that's too long. Make a Dabble Film Fest. That fixed it. I mean, what are you, impatient? What's the problem over here? We can all wait for the scroll to get there, can't we? This is $5 Canadian to answer this question. I think that's fair.
I'm kind of a Terrence and Phillip. That's what we were saying. I'm a Terrence and/or Phillip.
You know what? It's not on the scroll. Okay. After all of that.
Don't call me a rat, buddy. I'm not your buddy, friend.
There you go.
I know I have it in my notes. Let me just double check it. Because God forbid I'm giving out false information. I don't want to be accused.
Did you have your magic mind?
I did.
I was trying to see
a while ago.
go into a
We don't have a magic mind read today. But thank you. That'd be funny if we just... Let's just do commercials for the first 20 minutes on the stream. Dabblefilmfest@gmail.com is the answer. Amanda Lynn Nappy, been a member for 13 months, says, catching another show live. Everyone here is. If you think about it.
Yeah, I just got here.
Even Nick from Sweden with 27 something or others. Sweden's not part of the Euro, huh? They're like, no, we like our currency.
Something or others.
Thank you for the super sticker. Dame Taft, Adam, $20 if you do an upper decker in Carl's basement commode.
You already owe me $20. Carl, don't go in there.
Oh, shit. Chris, clean that out before you leave today.
What? I did a little something I call the bleachers.
Oh, man.
But I'm happy to shake your hand as immediately as I come out, without in one movement.
All right. That's enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road. I think I have everything
Banter.
ready to go.
You see, this is a we just do it kind of show.
This is insane. Episode
607. Are you a boner guy?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
You know what? I miss penis.
What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Is it going to be absolutely riveting? Is it going to change your life by any stretch? Probably not, but it's going to be at least entertaining, okay?
By the way, for those people that are in the back, remember to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, asswipe, and suck my cock.
I've been dying to say that.
Cuz-a-roo. Slap-a-rooney.
It's showtime.
WATP.
WATP.
Hello, Rubber Dicks and Cuzzaroos. Welcome to another episode of Who Are These Podcasts, the only show that does not condone the things said on this very channel by Eric Zane. I'm your host, Carl. With me today, the guy who is just on to say happy birthday to JT, our Discord mod and the Be Dabbling Live call screener. It's Adam Busch.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, that's what JT wanted, a real sexy happy birthday song. So,
For me.
that's right.
Loosh.
Producer Chris is here as well.
Oh, hello.
Go to whoarethese.com. That's where we get our email address, voicemail number, link to the subreddit, link to our Discord server, link to our merchandise, link to our YouTube channel, and then link to Patreon and Supercast featuring 2 exclusive bonus episodes every single month. I just dropped a bonus show yesterday. We recorded the live video. Anyone who's on the Patreon or YouTube can go see that. If you're on the Patreon, I also make an audio version of that. So if you're still a podcast listener, you get the RSS feed, plug it right into your podcast player, get the bonus shows. Blind Mike and I went through some more chapters of Julia Fox's book, and we're 3+ hours in on this audiobook. She's 14 years old.
Still.
She's fucking 14 years old. It's insane. And we learn about every friendship she has, whether it means anything or not. I'm kind of hoping that it all comes back. Like, what's that movie, Big Fish? Where at the end it turned out like all these tall tales where there was some reality going on. And, whoa, wow, you actually did know that person in this thing? Right? That's the movie, right? Big Fish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm hoping that at the end of this book, Julia Fox is like, well, do you remember Contenzo from Italy that I talked about when I was 12? Well, then he shows up when I'm hanging out with Ye.
Some sort of closure or callback.
It doesn't make none of it
Instead
makes any
of,
sense.
she's dead. He's dead.
He moved away. All right, moving on.
There's going to be a lot of loose ends not tied up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it's fun. Check out patreon.com/whoarethespodcasts. Support the show. Get the bonus episodes. And you can watch the show live every Wednesday and Saturday. You get the links for that. Hackamania is coming up May 9th through 11th in Las Vegas. I believe that's in Nevada now. Live podcast featuring, of course, Who Are These Podcasts? The Creep Off, This Little Piggy, Biggest Problem in the Universe, Nobody Likes Onions, Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve, Tukey Soup with Cardiff and Cardiff? Not sure. I don't know what's going on with OJ.
Thank you, OJ.
Thank you.
And friends.
And friends. Dabble House Live. Yeah. This is coming up in just a couple of weeks now. So you're going to want to get on this. You're going to go to dabblecon.live on April 11th and 12th. You'll be watching WATP, The Uncle Rico Show, a viewer film festival contest where the winner gets $500. Please submit those movies to dabblefilmfest@gmail.com. And so if you want to go to dabblecon.live, we're going to be finally listening to season 2 of the tapes.
That's right.
Kate Meany struck up another relationship with Stuttering John and recorded it all for us to hear. I'm looking forward to that.
If there were recordings of Eric the actor talking for just hours on end, to someone he loved trying to impress them, I would still be falling asleep to them to this day.
I know. Could you imagine if that were the case?
So
Because
this is
there
very
were some
exciting.
voicemails that he left for Johnny that are
Every word. I can remember every
Yeah.
word. The pauses, the silence. It's just
You know
music.
what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Although I heard that one was fake.
Oh,
it's too bad.
Even if so, hearing him try and pull something off
Yeah.
that he was, forced to do by someone he doesn't like in order to impress someone that doesn't love him is just as entertaining.
See, Adam gets it.
I love
Should we just do a show about Eric? What are we doing around here?
I mean, I've been trying to turn it into that for a couple episodes
I know.
now.
It's smart. We should definitely dive back into some of those shows. Also, we encourage our listeners to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you review podcasts, then show us in the comment section. Of course, we are using the Super Tip system, supertip.gg/WATP. And my man, Brian Johnson, tell him Steve Dave, who will be with us in Vegas as well, is coming in with a super tip.
Adam, thanks for letting me adjust your camera tonight.
I'm trying my hardest.
All right, that's Rosie O'Donnell, a.k.a. Slow Wife from the Nobody Likes Onions program. They say that that's who Patrick married. They say his wife is very slow.
When I was a kid, Rosie O'Donnell was the first celebrity that was like really mean to me. So I never forgot
Oh.
it. Mm-hmm.
What are the chances Rosie O'Donnell was a C word? I can't believe it. I've never heard of such a thing.
I was probably an asshole also, but I was from Long Island, and I thought we were going to be best friends when we did something together, and she wanted nothing to do with me.
How old were you at this time?
I was like 12.
What a
something
bitch.
like that. I mean, that's what I said, but
That's crazy.
What'd she say? Get
Yeah,
off
I
my
know.
lawn?
Now I want to know the story.
yeah, it was at the Kids' Choice Awards, and we had to do some bit together, and I just remember like, oh my God, it's from someone from Long Island. They're going to be so excited. I'm going to be so excited. And it was like you run up to someone with this thing in common, and they're just looking at you like, why are you talking to me right now? And why would you think I would possibly be interested? And I'd heard she was like wonderful to kids, and I guess it just meant, not me, which is fair, or someone
On camera.
younger kids, or on camera. There you go.
Right, yes. While
Yeah.
people are watching, she's a sweetheart. It's amazing. The people who hate Trump are the biggest narcissists. They're the most like Trump. She decided that she had to move out of the country. She's so important. The government was just going to go after her with all of the might of the military if she hadn't run off and hid in Ireland.
Half of my obsession with John, I feel like, is because I'm so close. I'm not there, but it's almost, I can see it, I can touch it. If I was just like more of an addict and more of this, like I can see that happening. So yeah, I think when something really bugs them about Trump, it's usually something they have in common with him.
Yes, it bugs them about themselves. I've seen that a lot. Well, anyway. Super tip system. Thanks, Brian. Love you, buddy. Today, we got a jam-packed, exciting show for you. We'll be talking about Gavin Newsom with Tim Walz. We'll be talking about Michael Ray Bauer, Donkeylips, entering the Dabbleverse. Interested to hear what our buddy Adam has to say about a fellow Nickelodeon alumni.
Fuck this guy. He doesn't have any credit.
Spoiler.
Coming up, fuck this guy.
Pure Genuine with Frenchie Hana. Big announcement on the show recently. Very exciting. Howard Stern is reading comments on YouTube now. So that's funny. Opie had Steve Grillo in the Gebhard's Basement show. But first, Jamie Kennedy hosts a podcast called Hate to Break It to You. This is a suggestion from Matt Fish in our Discord. We have a review suggestions channel in there. I appreciate people who go in there and give us ideas of shows that we can be reviewing. And so I want to start this off. He recently had, so Jamie Kennedy, of course, has been in a lot of movies, started his career in the 90s, and you know him from Scream, etc. And he's a conspiracy theorist. He's got a lot of ideas about how the world works, and he wants to tell you all about them. And he had Michael Biehn on, the star of the first Terminator movie. Am I pronouncing his name right? Michael Biehn? Something like that.
I would said Bayan, but
okay.
What do I know?
What do I know? Well, he had him on, and he talks about, this is very exciting. There's a lot of Matrix talk that we're going to get into, but Terminator is also one of these movies that's like, in Jamie's mind, predicted the future. Or did the future become the future because of the Terminator? These are the kind of discussions we need to have today to try to figure out.
So we're doing the Terminator, and in the movie, Kyle Reese says to Sarah Connor, "This is going to happen, and that's going to happen." And she says, "Like, none of this can happen. This isn't good. This can't happen." In the movie, she says this to me, and Kyle Reese says to her, "No, not for about 40 years." That was in 84. And
this is what I got to talk about.
Exactly 40 years later, now we see all the AI.
This is what I got to talk to you about.
Okay.
Okay, listen to me.
I don't think the guest was ready for how excited Jamie got about this. But first, Jamie finds a really weird way to say what was just said, that in 1984, they said in 40 years, this is when the AI robots are going to take over.
You know,
hold on. You're 68 years old.
Yes.
You did that movie when you were 28, 29.
Yes.
Wow, what an amazing thing.
Yeah. 40 years.
Hey, do you remember that part when...
Dude, that's what it turns into. Listen to this. This is so funny because for some reason, Jamie just starts describing all of the characters in the movie and what they did in it.
Okay. And you're Kyle Reese.
Yes.
And you're John Connor's father.
Yes.
Okay. John Connor's Ed Furlong.
Yeah.
But then somehow when you go back, you have to go back in time to impregnate Sarah Connor?
Yeah.
Okay. Arnold's looking for you. You're the savior of the world,
Arnold's
or
looking for her.
And John and
I'm there to
Ed
protect
Furlong is the savior of the world.
After I'm dead, yeah, yes.
But
yeah.
you were. Okay.
That's when we came out 41 years ago. What are we doing?
If I were that guy, Sean, I would be explaining to my wife, this is why I don't like going out to bars anymore.
Right, yes.
Because it just always ends up in this, no matter what I do. Some drunk guy. Can I ask you a question? I remember Jamie Kennedy. I remember the Jamie Kennedy experiment. I remember him, was he always like this?
I don't
Was he
think
always
so.
Like sedated and kind of mumbly and slow, like very slow.
No, he's definitely changed. I don't know what the reason is. I do have clips coming up where he talks about how he doesn't use drugs or drink anymore.
I don't think that's true, Carl. I don't
think that's true either.
Also, because I think I know why he's like this. This happens to people when they do one of two things. They get some money and they move to New Orleans, or they move to Vegas. And he moved to Vegas.
Oh.
I think.
Interesting.
That's kind
all
of
it
when
takes,
you're surrounded
huh?
by it all the time. It's just like a lifestyle.
Not a good advertisement for either of those places.
Or a great advertisement for those places, depending on what you're looking for.
Depending on what you're
I want to waste away in Vegas. Sounds fun. So he's describing the movie to him and the plot. That's not the point. The point is how all of this stuff came true.
Skynet is now a verb.
Okay.
Hey, the Skynet's coming. The movie opens with you running from things that look like we see in the sky now. Drones.
It doesn't. The movie doesn't open that way, but yeah, I
How
do
does
run
it
from
open?
them.
He sounds suspect. Were you actually in this movie?
Yeah, right. Couple things here. He goes, Skynet is a verb. And then he uses it in a sentence like, hey, you see that Skynet's coming this way? It's like, what's the verb in that sentence? It's not Skynet.
You just got Skyneted.
There you go. Now it makes a little more sense. Skynet's a verb. Jamie's kind of dumb, right?
Mm-hmm. He's corrected 3 times by this guy in one sentence that he made.
Yes.
3 things wrong with it.
No. He's got it all figured out.
Literally, do you know there's a ton of stuff on the internet that you know I love that you may not, that's basically saying that it's coming true 40 years later?
Literally, it's on the internet. Yeah, literally everything's on the internet. Yeah. Literally. Did you know that people who we don't know who are anonymous, who are probably whack jobs, are writing on subreddits that Terminator was based on a true story in the future? Like, yeah, I'm sure that's true, but...
And he does know about it. He made it clear that he didn't want to hear about it. He's like, I know you don't want to hear about it because I keep talking about it, but now that I've cornered you and you can't say no because the camera's on, here we go.
And you got to remember, this guy has had a long acting career. This is a movie he made, again, over 41 years ago. And I don't know that he watches it every year and studies it, but obviously Jamie wants to talk to him all about it. He finally starts deflecting.
You do Terminator.
Yeah.
You have all of this stuff in there that's coming true now.
Yes.
And
by the way, this is Jim Cameron's movie.
I know, but you're the face of it.
Yes.
Do you know what I am?
What are you?
I am the person that warns people in a movie.
I am. Oh, I am.
So you're the savior of the world, or the father of the savior of the world, and I'm the people that tells people how to survive through movies. You don't know it, but it's what I'm known for.
What are you known for?
Great question. What are you known for, Jamie Kennedy? Very funny. I love that he goes, look at James Cameron made the movie. I was just casting it. I don't know. I can't answer all your questions about the plot.
And he's like, I can't get Jim Cameron, but I can get you, so you have to answer these for me now.
He literally says that later on in this. And then it turns into the two movies that define Jamie Kennedy's world are Terminator and The Matrix. And I have some clips coming up where he says The Matrix is a documentary. It's not a movie. Everything's 100% real. He's going to prove it and everything. I have the clips, but I just love this reaction from his guest here.
You're royalty. You're royalty, okay?
Go.
The Matrix. You've seen it.
Yes.
Loved it.
Didn't understand it.
Wow!
I don't understand anything.
Wow!
Unless it's got a beginning.
You just did Terminator.
Just did Terminator. What do you mean by that? I love that answer, though. He's just like, I'm not going to have a Matrix conversation with you, man. That's not what I'm here for at all. Computers, sure. Simulation, whatever. I don't get it. It's fine.
I love talking about the pyramids, but I'm aware of what I sound like and who I become when I talk to people about the pyramids. I'm not going to pretend it's something that a stable person says. This guy doesn't want to talk about it. He's made
don't
it
do
very
that
clear
shit on this show, Adam.
Yeah.
If you bring up the fucking pyramids again, I swear to God, I got one finger on the.
I don't want to talk about the pyramids. I want to talk about what they found underneath.
Yes,
underneath. sonar.
Opie's talking about that too. That's he's always got a hot take.
But this guy, he doesn't like. Come on, you're a sci-fi fan to this guy. He doesn't know who Jamie Kennedy is. He doesn't know about your podcast, your comedy. You're a sci-fi guy, so you don't think this guy is used to people coming up to him and having these kind of conversations and talking to him about this kind of bullshit that he's not interested in?
Yeah, he's at conventions where he's getting questions like this all the time. Oh my gosh, did Terminator predict the future? Just like, sure, man. You want
Who
an
do I make it
autograph?
out
Want to
to?
get a photo?
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
So let me just go to this episode, and then Adam's got some stuff he wants to talk about too. But there's an episode that actually just dropped yesterday where Jamie Kennedy is going to explain what's really going on in the world.
It's going to sound, oh, there's Jamie again, being extra. But we live in a Matrix. I'm telling you, The Matrix is not a movie. It is a documentary. It is a 100% predictive programming piece of entertainment.
So I don't think it was a documentary because it was written by a couple guys who no longer exist, but like there's people who sat down and wrote a script, and that's how the movie was created.
And all of the I think the Japanese writing that scrolls behind them is like the recipes. They are.
Is that what it is?
It's real. Yeah, the person who designed it released. They're just. It's not real stuff. So
of course it's not. All right. So Jamie though has seen things, and so he's going to prove this to us.
I do things that a normal person hasn't done. I've seen a lot of things, and I tie a lot of thoughts and ideas together. And you're not just a viewer. Those who are informed, and I'm not just an actor, okay? We're on either sides of this thing, but we can both piece stuff together.
So let me translate what I heard there.
Please.
When he said that. So he's seen some things that seem odd to him, and now he's going to make wild leaps based on circumstantial evidence to get to The Matrix is real. Right? I mean, that's basically what we're talking about.
all I heard was I've done a lot of drugs and I have a lot of feelings.
Yeah, well, that's another way to translate that.
Adam pointed out that he was sedate in that interview, but he is sedate right now.
Yeah, and he came on this show and talks about how he's not on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
and I watched a lot of episodes, a lot of them open like this, all in different settings, as if he gets immediately kicked out of wherever he just recorded from and now needs to find a new store to broadcast from, but all the openings are really stoned, like half asleep, mumbling, rambling, just kind of what's most key about it, especially when we talk about Opie, is we wish that Opie just would put some effort into it. Well, I think Jamie Kennedy would be just like Opie if he wasn't as heavily edited as he is right here. If you're not watching, I don't know if you can tell that pretty much every pause is a cut, which means he hasn't really said a sentence or a paragraph all the way through that they could use. They had to just keep cutting to make it sound tolerable.
Well, you have a clip from episode 157, the way that this episode starts off, that demonstrates the heavy editing.
Hello, friends and family and people that like what I do. This is a pod I've been meaning to do about a week ago. I'm too busy. There's different worlds I'm a part of, and as you know, I am part of one called Jeff Lewis, which I absolutely love to be a part of. And the pod I got to talk about today is a reaction to the last show I did. And why? Well, because I was affected, and B, because it's good content.
Wow. Let's talk about Jeff Lewis real quick. So Jeff Lewis has a radio show on Sirius XM that I guess Jamie's on, and then they also have this thing called, or I guess Jamie's also in Rain in Horror, which is on Sirius XM as well. So he's fancies himself a radio guy. But Jeff Lewis apparently is from Bravo or one of these channels. Do you know who he is at all?
I don't. I knew a folk guy named Jeffrey Lewis. He's a great songwriter out of New York.
This is not that. Well, let me show you. He's promoting his dates on the most recent episode.
First thing I'm going to say is I've got some dates. 90s Con coming up at the end of March. Chump Con in the middle of April.
So Chump Con. I was like, what the? What are we talking about here with Chump Con? Oh, also he's at the Boca Black Box coming up too on April 1st. So I went to look into this Chump Con thing, and this is Jeff Lewis and your favorite chumps. Oh, it's the same time that we're in Vegas. We could go to this.
Hey.
Oh, no, it's April, not May.
Yeah.
Never mind. Getting my months confused.
Have to find some new chumps.
So apparently, I don't know what this guy does, but if you look at the Saturday, you have a meet and greet cocktail hour to start things off. And then you have a pool party thing.
Yeah, this is a convention. But I don't know who chumps are.
Jeff Lewis live from 7 till 9 from Bravo's Flipping Out, Freevee's Hollywood House Lift, and SiriusXM. Jeff Lewis and your favorite chumps take center stage at Zauk Nightclub for an unforgettable night in Las Vegas. Now, when I hear a guy who is known for like house flipping shows, what does he do on stage?
I don't know, but I have a feeling it's not going to look like what we're looking at.
Yeah, this is a stock photo for sure. It's a New Year's Eve at a Fish concert for some reason. So anyway, I was super distracted by the Jeff Lewis talk because him and Jamie Kennedy are super tight. They do a lot of things together. But let's get back to the episode you checked out, Adam, because he starts off this episode in a very Stuttering John-esque way. He addresses the haters. And he really addresses the haters here.
And I think that the reason I don't really want to address this is because the people that are negative are very low vibrational. Meaning they have succeeded. They have gotten my attention. You understand what this is? And they have now pulled me down to their level. Down. Yes, they are literally a lower vibrational frequency. They drink alcohol, probably most of them. There's a bitterness there. There's a sadness there. And they're behind. They're not really want to engage in a conversation. They're behind a hidden profile. They're not open, so they can also be poked at or critiqued or even found out about. They're all hidden, and they poke from behind a very safe wall. Well, congratulations, you've got my attention.
So then he goes on to talk about how he's only going to address this one time. It just needs to be talked about. But there's a lot of tells in there. The fact that he's going, yeah, and these people who say negative things, like you click on their profile, you can't learn anything about them, no matter how much you Google their screen name. It's like, what are you up to over there, Jamie?
Yeah.
Quiet part loud.
Yeah, whoops.
On top of that, everything he said sounded like he was talking about himself. And I didn't even realize this about him until he started talking. Like, you really have decided you know who this group of people are as individuals, and you know what's going on. What is it about, like, this guy's not Opie, he's not John. He's at least managed to stay coherent and upright enough to maintain relationships with people. Opie could be doing 90s cons. He could, right?
Oh, God,
if he wanted to, if people wanted to meet him, he could work his way into something.
Right.
He could be and then charm that guy and get his own podcast, just like this guy did. But all of these guys are not, I don't know what it is. The second it becomes about them, everything changes. The second they're criticizing them, I mean, this was just a really fancy way of saying, you're a bunch of losers. Yep. I'm sorry, we're low vibration people. We're losers, and we don't get it.
You know what fucks all of these people up? All the people you just said, Jamie as well. We're going to see Howard Stern a little bit on the show coming up. They have never been in a world where the interaction goes both ways, and they can't deal with it.
No.
They can't figure it out. It's like, I put out a video, and then just some schlep with a YouTube account's allowed to say that it sucks?
Yep.
What's that all about? When I was on the radio, when I was doing movies, I didn't have to hear about this criticism. I was just surrounded by sycophants who enjoyed everything I did. What the fuck? This sucks.
And I know he's heard people do stuff like this and criticize them. And it's totally different when it's him. What were you going to say, Chris?
Well, it's just so childish because you want to put it out on that format. You must know what it's like when you're looking at other comments on other videos, but you just don't want it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Not to spoil it, but Howard even says, he's just like, I don't see these comments on other people's videos. Okay. He's looking around at the other ones like, what the fuck? But since you brought up 90s Con, I did look into this, and I wanted to go to the website here. And Adam, I am wildly aware that you could be a part of this. Maybe you have been a part of this at some points in your life. So this is not to be insulting to you, but take it for what you mean it for. This is the promotional video. First off, let me ask this, Adam, since I've insulted you already. I
love just the insinuation that I would be sitting here making fun of Jamie for doing this, but then immediately turn around and get sensitive when it became about me after just having pointed out what a dick move that is to be.
All right, good. I'm glad you feel the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you, hey, man, 90s Con is coming up, would you, A, know what it was specifically, or B, be able to guess what that would be? Because the 90s is just a decade of time.
I would not know what it was specifically, but I would know exactly what it was generally when they said it. I know it's going to be in an airport, like hotel, ballroom somewhere in not the main city, but right off of the main city. And it's going to be a bunch of events that are all in the same little area. And they're not like, they're just signings and dance contests and karaoke's and cocktail hours and pictures. Q&A, right?
Starring Full House, Boy Meets World, Hocus Pocus. Never heard of that. Nick Carter's going to be there. Whoever AJ McQueen is. Family Matters. And the rest. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Sabrina there? And so many more. And yeah, this is exactly what you're describing. You saw that.
We're here at 90s Con. I'm your host, Christy Carlson Romano.
Yeah, this is them coming down the elevator to the hotel lobby.
This is my first con in a long time. I'm really excited to see people, see their faces.
Oh my gosh, I gotta watch that again. That's Leah Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
She is not excited to see people.
Oh, no.
She can't even come up with a reason why she'd want to see fans, to see their faces, I guess.
Opie would be more excited.
She's like a big director who does a bunch of stuff. She's honestly just going because she wants to. She doesn't need the money. She's
all right. If you say so. I don't know what her motivation is.
Oh, it must just be to connect with people because
look
she's
at how
not
unhappy she looks here.
This is my first con in a long time. I'm really excited to see people.
This is my first con in a long time. I'm really excited to see people. It'll be a lot of fun.
Leah, could you smile?
could you pretend? You're an actor. Could you pretend that you're excited about this?
Their faces. It's a great experience getting to interact with fans. It's really special.
You know that thing that we hire security for and try to avoid all day, every day? Interacting with fans? Can't wait for it.
Who was that greaser picking up a child?
Well, apparently she's going to be stuck in a corner having to explain the time paradox of Back to the Future with Jamie Kennedy for hours on end if she doesn't have security.
I would talk to her about Back to the Future 2 for 6 hours if she'd let me. I have so many questions that still remain unanswered. Also, you got to say, the wallpaper they have on here,
yeah,
dude, you know you're at 90s Con. That's pretty sweet.
I love how they're not even their names. They're just the show.
No one knows the names from Boy Meets World. It's like,
I don't even know half these shows.
I don't
Hocus Pocus.
Familiar either. All right, let's get back to your clips on here. I didn't mean to get us that sidetracked.
No, we can do a whole show just on these. I love these. The smaller and the more far away and intimate, the better. They're so much fun to look at. The most random people show up, and you get
well,
to see.
Then you should probably go to Hackamania, hackamania.com in Las Vegas.
I would, but it's the same time as 90s Con, and I've already committed.
Right. My favorite was when Brian Johnson went to DabbleCon 2, and he came back to tell him Steve Dave was telling the guys about, like, so what do you do? Like, just go get people's autographs and stuff? Because they're picturing something like this.
Right.
And he has to explain. It's like, well, no, it's actually live podcasts. They do shows and stuff like that. I get to sit on the panels.
We're making fun of one person for an entire weekend.
Yes.
You've never been?
Yeah. And we extended it into brunch and a baseball game. We didn't want it to end. Let's keep goofing on this jerk. I don't care if the show's over. All right, getting back to your clips on here, Adam. So he explains how he got started in podcasting, as if any of this matters. This is a longer clip. I did speed it up a little bit. Adam, when he sent me his notes, he said 1.5x speed is probably a good speed to watch Jamie Kennedy. So I tried to speed things up a little.
When I first started doing the show, I did the run. And, you know, it was when we were doing it at Jeff's house, and I was just a guest, and then he liked me. I was just promoting my movie. And then he liked me, and he had me back, and then he had me again. He liked my opinions. And then the next thing you know, I'm 4 or 5, 6, 7 deep, whatever. You know, and then I had an argument, and then, you know, that made me come a little less, and then there were certain things going on in the world.
His style is so obnoxious. Remember, he's explaining to the trolls what's up. That's the whole point of this episode, is to tell the trolls what's up. And now he's going back to the whole, every little detail. And then we did like 6 episodes, but then we had a falling out. So I stopped doing the show, but then I came back. And it's like, none of this, it's neither here nor there. You do a show now, we know. And that's what they're talking about, the show that you're doing now.
We didn't want to do. And then they moved the show back to the studio. And then, you know, I didn't do the show. And then I was so happy when I got a text from Jeff about 9 months ago. And he said, hey, do you want to come do the show? I'd love to have you. And so then I went in. And then, you know, different things happened. And he's like, I'm getting this other hour. Would you like to, you know, come on and do that? It was just like every week. It's like, do you want to do one? It was never, there's no contract. It wasn't like, this is your job. This was like, hey, do you want to
I can't take this anymore.
I'm honored. You know, of course I'd love to.
Are the trolls writing things like, what's your contract? How did you negotiate this? Like, why is he bringing any of this up?
I can't imagine who in real life he would be talking to like this that wouldn't be like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Or shut up. Like, what? And who's keeping track? Who cares? What? Like, there was one little interesting thing in there that you completely glossed over. You're like, and then they made a call, and then I dialed back, and then we got into a big dramatic fight, and then I called him again. And then, wait, what?
9 months later.
What was the big dramatic fight? Yeah. Well, what are you skipping over that and telling us all this nothing? And then he called me back,
but insane.
Yeah,
yada,
restraining order. And I couldn't get across the border. And alpacas. And
I would love for him and Stuttering John to sit down with each other and just talk about how they started podcasting, how this all came about. That'd be an excruciating conversation.
And we've put that together for you at Hackamania.
That's right. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP. So this is him talking about his process for doing his podcast because, as I was showing you, he interviews guests quite often on his show.
And so you never know when you show up. You know, I don't ever research anybody because I just want to go in. I want to be Marlon Brando, who's one of the greatest artists in the history of the world. Never wanted to read his lines in rehearsal. Never even really wanted to read the script. He would just look at it briefly and then he would talk it. So as he was doing it, it was fresh and new. He didn't want.
Yeah, but you're not Marlon Brando. Yeah. And that's the mistake a lot of these people make. Is they go, this guy who's super talented is a one-of-a-kind person. He does it this way, so that's how I'm going to do it. Like, yeah, you're not one of a kind. Why don't you go ahead and read some notes about the actors and who you're going to talk to?
Yeah, and why don't you look at his life before, like, he was in his 50s? Because he used to memorize his lines. It wasn't until he had retired and quit and, like, given up and won everything you can win in life that he suddenly couldn't memorize his lines and didn't give a shit. He gave a shit for a long time and worked really hard and then taught acting in his own way. Like, he wasn't about not giving a shit, and I'm sure when he said it, he wasn't thinking about you and your podcast, Jamie.
Want to know because he thought the element of surprise was one of the most engaging things an actor can do and why he is considered possibly our greatest actor.
And I just want to point out, like, Larry King is the better example here because Larry King interviewed people for a living and notoriously had no idea who the person he was interviewing was. And he's like, isn't this great? I get to find out who this person is. Like, I mean, you could, like, do a little research, but okay.
To usher in, let's just say before there was silent pictures. I'm really going down a rabbit hole here, but let's just go, silence. Let's just say
this
the
is
silent
up.
Unbelievable.
Chaplin. He's a comic genius, but let's just say the silence. They could do it with expressions. And then when they had talkies, you had guys like, let's say, hello, Bosch, Humphrey Bogart.
And someone's editing this shit, too. They're deciding this is all the stuff they want to keep in.
It
We
sounds
did
like
50
shit.
takes and this was the best one.
Well, it sounds like shit because I sped it up. And then I told the software not to increase the pitch. So the software is trying to figure that out.
right.
I think that's part of it.
Okay. It just doesn't sound like he's actually recording with the microphone he's speaking
Yeah,
into.
it's possible.
Yeah, it's giving it that
He was
auto-tune
talking.
quality,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he
yeah,
really,
yeah,
this is him.
And that was a certain time. But Brando was the first guy to come off the boards of New York City in the early 40s. And he would deny his eyes to the camera because he knew that you wanted to look into his eyes so bad. And at the last minute, his trick was show the eyes. So then you're engaged. He was beautiful. He was such a beautiful man. And that was the ushering in a new form of naturalistic acting. Chaplin was one era. Bogart was another era.
Talking about the trolls.
Brando
Jamie.
was another era, which then gave birth to, the Dustys and the Al Pacinos, which then gave birth to, the Leos and my generation.
Well, dude, I'm going to move to the other side of the bar. I hope you're not offended.
Did you hear who he just put
Good
himself?
luck with that Terminator thing, buddy.
Did you see how he just put himself in a category with? He's like, it was Pacino and then Leo and me.
The Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. And the Dusties, no one says no one's calling Dustin Hoffman Dusty, you fucking asshole. It's just, and you're conflating all these different stories that you randomly heard from different things. It was Bogart that wouldn't look you in the eye because he was looking for his mark. He was looking for where to stand, and then he would hit it, and then he could look at you because he hit the mark. That's what he was doing. That was
So
not
it wasn't the
Brando.
master plan where he was teasing you with his eyeballs. And...
No, and it has nothing to do with Brando or any of this stuff, and why you're comparing free associating to a microphone at a veterinary clinic outside of Vegas to Brando doing Streetcar Named Desire is baffling.
It's what he knows, Adam. It's what he knows.
I mean, Dustin Hoffman wouldn't put him in that category himself, but you're putting yourself in that category with them? Okay.
It's weird. So this is last clip from this episode, but talking about reading the comments that he's been reading. They've not been great.
So anyway, I started reading these comments, and I just felt like they were so out of pocket, and I never respond. And I'm like, I don't know why, but it's just because I was sick. I'm like, this is so out of pocket. So I started like commenting back, and I just, I want to react to a couple of them here because I was like, it's crazy.
This is always good.
And the canceling of celebrities, that thing is
What could go
actually
wrong?
a interesting thing and an interesting time.
This is such a Patrick Michael thing to do, where you get butthurt over some comments. You're like, I'm going to respond to these in real time. You guys can watch me do it.
Because our show is so celebrity based and gossip based, and that's why I did this, because it's like behind the scenes and peeking the curtain, a little gossip, a little honesty. So I think that would be engaging for the crowd. Like, there are people just go, I thought today's show was so funny. Jamie Karen Kennedy. Again, this is the dumbest thing. Karen is what the people here are.
Jamie Karen Kennedy is the nickname. He's already, the first 3 words he's already like, what the fuck?
And it's the first funny thing on his podcast in an hour and a half. And it's
Yes,
the comments. And
pretty
he
good.
prefaces it with, just so you know, I'm not doing this for me. Like, this is for your entertainment value. I don't even give a shit. I don't care.
You're the Karen. I'm not a Karen.
You're the Karen.
Karen are the people that spoil the fun. They bring the party. We get it. Jamie Kennedy hates that he can't treat women like shit the way he used to in the 90s when he had some relevancy. Let's break that comment down.
Yeah.
Forget the
my
Karen
God.
part because it's just
Let's
it's not
break
me.
that
I'm
down,
not the
shall
person
we?
who
Yep.
is telling you not to skateboard at 5 p.m. on the school property. That's just not me. I can't treat women like shit. So this is libel. Like, so basically I treat...
He's reading an anonymous comment on a YouTube video. It's like, this is the libel, is what this is.
He's doing all the greatest hits. There's some Opie, there's some
Yep.
Stud Show. I love it.
He's really
How
stepping
does
in
this
it.
happen so
Patrick Michael.
acutely to different
amazing.
people all over? The same fucking reaction. Dude, they're just saying the 90s were a different era than the current one is, with a little jab at you. That's all they're saying. And they're making fun of the times and you and all this stuff. You're a comedian. How can it not be funny only when it's directed at you?
Could you imagine if I just sat here and read our subreddit for an entire episode? Maybe I'll do that someday. A bonus show idea.
I do in my head sometimes. I really do, because I read and I'm on Dabblers and I'm posting and I'm looking, and sometimes I'm like, I got to address this, and then I start to in my head and I hear what I sound like.
Right. You're like, oh,
And I
this is dumb.
stop myself. I didn't realize what a gift this talent of mine was, to just stop myself.
Not talk. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, women like shit. Do you have
It's
proof
so
of this?
edited, but he's got to bring up the phone. Like, this is so controlled, but no one would print him notes for this. He has to read it off his phone because they're like, you're on your own, buddy.
Another greatest hit, just like Aaron M. Holt.
Yes.
We don't get to see it.
Right.
Do you have facts? The way I used to in the 90s. So in the 90s, I was treating women like shit. Let me tell you, I've had arguments with women in every decade. So that's just the timeline's off. But treating them like shit. Okay. This feels personal. And then it says...
But
when
the
he
guy
had
doesn't know you, Jamie. It's not personal. It's only personal because you're making it personal.
some relevancy. So I'm on a show, which is the biggest satellite radio company in America, possibly the world.
It's the only one.
I'm on the show once a week.
The biggest satellite radio company
It's
in
also
America.
the smallest.
But now he's trying to prove to this one random guy who commented on a video that he's still relevant in show business. Like, that proves you're not relevant in show business.
He's listing his credits.
Right. It's literally not the right thing to do.
It also sounds like you treated women like shit if you're going to react like that.
I know. He's just like, all right, I mean, I smack a bitch around, but she deserves it.
Yeah, his argument was treated women like shit because it was the 90s. I've been doing it for 5 decades.
Every decade, I yell at
Consistency.
bitches.
Look at, like, I hate when people say this shit. And I'm only, again, I'm going down to their level because I just don't know why. I'm doing it one
Low
time.
vibrations, man.
But again, they're winning because I'm giving them air.
Correct.
But it's okay because
All right.
I really want to address this. Like, it makes
So you're recognizing that everything you're
Yeah.
doing is wrong, but you're continuing forward anyway. Okay.
That was just a very schizophrenic conversation
Yes,
he just had with 6
that
of the
really
people
was.
that live in his mind, and they all answered in rapid fire, and they all disagreed with him, and he said, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, right. What do you guys know anyway? Get out of here.
So essentially, maybe I'm not relevant enough in your eyes, but that's what I play every big comedy club every weekend. I'm at every top autograph con all the time.
Jesus.
I'm at every top autograph con? That's a hell of a boast right there. I don't know if I was ready for that.
No one told me there was going to be boasting.
Spider-Man. You know, they're not making it right now. Excuse me. If I had 2 lines of Spider-Man, would I be more relevant? If I'm on a game show, funny you should ask. I'm sorry it's not The Voice. Is that, like, it's just these words that, like, they have power, and it's like, what are you saying? And then, of course, when you click, it's completely a private account. And by the way, this would have been a lot worse if I did this a week ago, so actually it's good that I took a little time.
And so he's clicking into the account and trying to get information. From WATS, John Sarasani's been kicked off of Instagram multiple times for doing just this, showing the guy's photo, put a shitty comment, and talking about his ugly wife, and so you got 2 kids, and blah, blah. It's just like, you don't want to be engaging in this, and all the parasocial relationship goes both ways.
He thinks it was a flex to say that he stewed for a week before completely unraveling about this in an unhinged, unplanned manner. Not a cry for help.
All right. I want to get back to The World is the Matrix. He's going to prove that for us. Because that's the Jamie Kennedy that I want to listen to. I want to know what's going on. Does he have facts? Is this based on science?
I'm going to give you an example. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, Alyssa went to a whole thing this weekend with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he measures your waves, different brain waves from theta to the different terms of it. And from when you start a meditation until you're done. And it shows you the different actual science hooked up to these things, the difference in your cognitive abilities, if you will. So it's not just a hippie thing. This guy doesn't like just hippie stuff. He likes real data. So this whole thing of like words have power, and is this a simulation, and the Matrix, and all these different things. I'm seeing signs of it every day.
Do you see how one thing has nothing to do with the other? He starts by saying this doctor, he does these scientific things where it's measuring stuff and he's collecting data. And then it's just like, so the Matrix exists. Like, whoa. You're going to have to explain that a lot better than that, because just because there is a guy who's performing these scientific experiments doesn't mean that anything you're about to say is true. In fact, that was such a weird aside that he had, just saying like, oh yeah, someone I know was at a doctor's, they were measuring stuff. Anyway, let me tell you why I think the Matrix exists.
This right here shows you why Scientology exists and why it's successful. Because if you're in any kind of state, drug-induced, hungover, or emotional, physical, and someone that sounds smart comes to you and says a lot of words that don't make sense, but they sound like they make sense, and the guy seems smart and he's tapping into things that are true with me, but he's saying all these words, you just kind of like bridge that gap yourself. You assume what you don't understand is your limitation and that they're smart, and you just go with it instead of, because you're in a broken state. If you weren't, you'd realize, oh, this guy's just like scatting. This is just like free associate words just coming
and Scientology
randomly.
Was smart. They took it to the next level. They said, let's get a device that makes sounds and has things on it that bounce around. So the e-meter, people would look at that and be like, oh, what does that mean? Like, oh man, we got to get you help right away.
Yeah.
I've never seen an e-meter like this.
Jamie would love that.
I told you I did it. I put my finger in and they say, think about something happy. It goes up and down. And they go, uh-huh. You put your finger in. They go, think about something sad. It goes up and down. They go, uh-huh. You see? Now it's up to me to decide if that was anything or not. But I bet every other person goes, oh my God, the meter's moving. You're right. Instead of it's just moving, they're just trying to dupe you. Like, you look like you're in need of something, Jamie. When you go to the doctor, when you're at the bar, you sound like you're searching for something. That's a quality that people fill with their needs and with their desire to take your money. And you're allowing it to happen, and you're not coming off well balanced. If you want to sell these conspiracy theories, they better come from a source that sounds like they know what the fuck they're talking about, not like a lost, searching, hungover rabbit.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Adam, because now we're going to get into the proof portion of this episode. Let's get to the facts. Why is The Matrix a documentary and not just a science fiction movie?
Here's an example of how The Matrix is real. It's insane. This is an insane example, and you tell me. There are no coincidences anymore. There's none of that. Oh my God, that's so weird. Or really? That's odd. No. This is shit. It's all Sims, man. It is The Sims. There's just too much weird shit that is just, we can't just, oh, it's just coincidence. And I feel like everyone's experiencing it. And it's a matter of if you pick it up and you realize it. And maybe because I haven't drank in 6 years or really do any drugs or anything, that I'm super aware of stuff and it's becoming like intense. Like the world's a drug. The world's a drug, dude.
Says the sober guy.
Does he count DMT as a drug?
Yeah, he said I barely do any drugs or
Yeah.
something like that. That was sounding like California sober to me. If I know what he's picking up on. So he says coincidences don't exist. Now, I just had something happen to me on Sunday. I went to the hockey game here in Rochester. And who's sitting in my section but Trucker Andy and his wife? Same section.
And you didn't plan that.
And we didn't talk about it or anything. Andy's not even a sports fan. And yet here we are sitting in a hockey game. And I went, The Matrix is real. No, I went, is there a possibility that Andy goes to a hockey game with his nephew once a year? And is there some type of probability that we would both be at the same hockey game sitting in the same section? Yes. It's not a coincidence. There's a probability of it happening, so it has to occur at a certain point. Now, running into anyone, what makes people like Jamie, what ruins it for them, is it's not like they're like, what if I see Trucker Andy today at the hockey game? It's just you have no idea, and then it's a person you know. I run into people I know places all the time, and of course that's a coincidence. You know, there's nothing else to it than that. Yeah, we live in the same town, and there's a entertainment event happening.
It's kind of sad, actually.
We're both there.
Yeah, I don't know if what he's talking about is two local guys in a small town running into each other at a minor league hockey game. I think maybe he's talking about having
No.
What is he talking about? Uh-oh.
He's going to get into it.
Oh, no.
Adam, I know. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, there's more to it than just like coincidences don't just happen. What were you going to say, though? I'll let you finish your thought.
Oh, no, I'm curious where he's getting at, because I hate this shit. Like, I am someone who believes that things are not necessarily what we think they are, that there's more to the world than we know of, than what we've been taught.
I agree with that, too.
And every step we make in science kind of confirms that. But the greatest minds in science are like, yep, there's things we don't know. And we don't know. And it's guys like Jamie that are like, I'll take it from here. Doctor,
I got to figure it out.
I will fill all of this in and explain in some way why it's a conspiracy to keep me from working in more movies. That's Jamie Kennedy.
All right, well, he's going to talk to us normies, Adam, and
I'll try and keep up.
Yeah, let us know where we're at.
Yes, and it ties into many things that I won't say because the normies will fry me because their brains are mush. And I don't do drugs, so I'm crazy because I'm awake. Damn, I'm coming in hot now. You can like that. I'm just saying, come on, man. Like, don't roast me for my beliefs. The Matrix, why is it real?
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in on this fucking video. I want to know why the Matrix is real. And he does all of this stuff where it's like he's always concerned about the haters and you guys are going to roast me for this and poke fun. But I'm telling you, it's like, all right, well, just get to it then. Have some confidence in what you're saying. So he starts telling this story. I pulled this clip thinking that this was basically the whole story, and then it went on for 7 more minutes. But just to give you a sense of what he's talking about.
All right. I go to my friend's house. We film some content. I'm supposed to film for like an hour. We end up filming for like an hour and a half. Then he has some friends over. Then he has more friends over. Everything's great. Everybody leaves. I'm hanging out. I'm having a good time. We start talking about one of his coworkers. And I said, oh, how do you guys know each other? He tells me how they met. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
all right, so I'm going to pause it there. This goes on and on and on. And basically what happened was he met up with this guy. He stayed longer than he thought he was going to. Had a conversation about a person that they both knew. And then another guy came and picked him up. And then he somehow ran into that person that they were talking about earlier that he hadn't talked about in a long time. But it just so happened that he ran into the person they were talking about earlier that day. So let's get to like the epiphany here.
I take 3 steps and I go, hey, bro, I'm walking with, my man who picked me up and all this stuff. And I said, hey, bro. He said, yeah. And I said, do you remember the acting teacher I told you encouraged me about the commercial? And he said, yeah. And I go, that's him. Yeah. In my building, out of the blue.
So he's really trying to sell this hard because he's like, normally I'd walk this way, but today I walked that way. And normally I wouldn't check the mail, but today I decided to go check the mail, which added a little more time to how long it took me to get to this place. And then the guy is right there and he's really selling it.
And end up coming into, I don't know, in the building where I'm at after all the detours and the different turns and all the, and at that moment, talking about the commercial during that time, how it was encouraged by him and how at that moment, right through the door, at that moment, with all the different distractions and detours and stuff, at that moment, what? I want you to take a second. I haven't seen this dude in 20 years.
I am telling you, the way he communicates, it's so winding, and I got lost a few times in what he was saying, and then I came back again. And then after all that, he really tries to sell. Can you fucking believe this shit? Is that crazy? I ran into this guy. I hadn't seen him in 20 years. Yeah, you're both in LA. It happens. Or Vegas or wherever the fuck he is. You're going to run into people.
People like this are the reason why I can't bring up Machu Picchu or the pyramids at a dinner party without the person turning their back to me and starting a conversation with the person.
Right. They're like, uh-oh, where's this going to go?
And this is honestly holding back progress because you bring up any of this stuff and these are the only people interested. They give it a bad name and they're just trying to explain away, everything that they're unhappy with in their lives, unfortunately. That's
Yeah,
really
well-
what's happening. He wasn't interested in this while he was, working and happy. He wasn't, interested in this when he wasn't looking at the haters all the time and obsessed with why people are trying to keep him down and connect everything. It's funny, when you realize your legacy is over, you start becoming obsessed with things that go on forever.
Oh. That's interesting. He really is trying to figure out the meaning of life here. And this incident that happened to him, it's blowing his mind.
I didn't want to go that way. Why? I don't know. Someone fucking let me. Someone fucking controlled me and made me go and cross fucking paths and fucking straight up fucking GTA'd my ass. I am blowing my own mind as I'm telling you this. You need to connect to this pod right now and go, what the fuck, dude?
The best part is he never even talked to the guy. He recognized that he was there and didn't even say a word to him. So it didn't make a difference in his life in any way.
But someone's controlling him, so.
I know. He didn't know why he'd walked a different way, but earlier in the story, he said he walked outside because he wanted to get fresh air. He wanted to check the mail. Like, he definitely has control over his own body and movement.
And to what end? What was the fucking point, Jamie?
Right.
Like, he's there, and what?
That was the thing that was the payoff was so bad, because if he would have said, and then I run into this guy and he offers me this job and I have this huge gig coming up now, you'd be like, oh, that's coincidental. But it's just like, no, I just saw a guy that we were talking about earlier that day.
Not even oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, it doesn't even say what's up to him. And then he says that we can't know any differently.
You cannot tell me. You cannot. I want one person in this comment, one person to just to write this shit off. You're going to write it off? You're going to write it off? No, you can't. You cannot just write this off. This is insane.
Now he's daring the trolls to tell him he's an idiot. That's always a good move. Yeah. But he says a sentence right after this that I think makes the whole thing moot, in my opinion.
And it happens a lot in a lot of other ways.
And it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these things happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If you said, Carl, how many times do you run into Trucker Andy at the Amherst game? I'd be like, never. How many times do you see someone you know there? Oh, usually run into people I know.
It'd be weird if you didn't.
Yeah. I usually see some people I know, like-minded hockey fans from this area.
They tell these stories about, like, dogs getting lost, like, miles and miles, or even farther than that away from their home, and somehow they, like, find their way to their owner's work, or, like, to, where they live. They travel these incredible distances, and we always say, oh, they just have this superpower. They have a super smell. I don't know if it's a super smell. I think it's just really strong. And if you live like by the ocean, they can tell where the ocean is. So they just start heading in that direction. Then by the time they get to the ocean, they know you live by that fast food. So they start to smell and they just head. It's not like, divine intervention or
They don't have it
kinda
mapped out ahead of time. They're not like looking at a compass going, all right, probably start northwest.
It sounds magical when you don't break it down and think logically, like, oh, well, that's magical, but an association is believable. I can figure it out. The idea that when people like meet, or even like exes when you've been close for a long time, that your bodies even can sense or tell when they're near each other, and maybe they do even kind of unconsciously drive you towards each other. We can talk about that stuff.
That's why I text at 2 a.m.
Yeah. It's not because I'm drunk.
It's correct.
It's like there's things you can actually talk about if you want to get behind it, other than just, so everyone's wrong and I'm right about everything.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like, to what end? So I agree with you, Adam. There's things that are not explained. We might be living in a simulation. I don't know. It's very possible. But to what end in this like a coincidence happened, and therefore that's a glitch in the matrix, or someone's controlling me? It's like, why? Yeah. What is that? It doesn't prove anything. All right. Do you want to talk with Kato Kalin real quick? He's a recent guest on this show. And they're talking about going to the Playboy Mansion back in the 90s, Playboy parties. And so Kato's telling the story about how he's from Wisconsin or something, the Midwest, and his brother is there, and him and his brother both get the invite to go, and him and his brother both go to the mansion.
Put the tent. There's a bar by the garage, by the pool. There's another bar by the corner, by the bathrooms. Yeah.
And I was in it. It was my first time. So
what year?
This is the 90s, 95.
My first was 98.
We go to the bar.
I definitely saw you there.
We talked. I think I said I was a huge fan.
Thank you.
My brother goes up.
I love that you had to make it about him real quick. Oh, well, I went in 98 and I saw you there. He's like, yeah. I told you you're great. Oh, yeah. As you should. Okay.
It was Cato, the guy, as close as you are. He goes, hey, Cato, this guy, he looks like that Doogie Howser. And it was. I go, Sean. And then, what's Doogie? I forget Doogie's real name.
Fuck.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, so they run into Neil Patrick Harris, and his brother's so naive. He's just like, oh, this guy looks like a celebrity. He's like, no, it is that guy. We're at the Playboy Mansion in L.A. Of course it is. So they couldn't think of the actor's name who played Doogie Howser. And now we get into my buddy Croz's favorite thing in podcasting, boomers Googling shit. For some reason, they just have an urge to do this.
Do you see our brains?
Oh, my God.
Doogie Howser, what's his name? You know his name.
Gone Girl.
I don't know, but we know his name. Patrick, yes. Patrick. Wow. Do we have to look it up? They'll know it in the chat. It's not the chat.
He goes, I go, it is. And he was talking to me, Doogie, and we're getting along.
Patrick, Patrick. I was in fucking the movie with him, too.
Jesus.
You got to look it up.
What a good guy.
You're with Doogie. Your brother goes Doogie. Doogie Howser. Doogie.
You look it up.
They're
You
both
look it up.
trying to Google it.
Doogie. Wait, Doogie Howser, MD, is, oh God, wait a minute. What? Oh my God. Doogie Howser, MD. Are you ready?
Give me a hint. We'll play the game here.
Okay.
This guy's not a good ad for sobriety.
I know. He's like, I'm just thinking clearly, guys. That's why I know all this stuff, because I'm not on drugs.
Is there no one that can tell Jamie Kennedy or Ethan Klein when they should or shouldn't be recording? Because they can't tell themselves. They have no inner barometer of like, dude, clear your throat. Get yourself together. And I don't know if
sounds like
those
shit.
listening can't tell. He's like shaking his foot in Cato's lap in this very weird, aggressive, jittery way that's just making Cato lean farther and farther back. It's very, to be a fly on the wall of this fucking conversation. I can't believe they're submitting this to the podcast and being like, we're done. We got it. There it is.
It's worse than that. This is a highlight that they put out from a 12-minute highlight from a hour and 20-minute conversation. They're like, oh, this is the good stuff right here.
I was going to make that joke while he was going, on the next. But no, they're really doing it.
Literally. And so he finally looks it up, and then Cato is going to try to guess at it, I guess.
Patrick's right, correct?
Patrick's one of the names. That's crazy. I've both forgotten.
John Patrick? Dave, am I right?
I blame COVID and 5G. Patrick's one. I'll give you this.
He's not joking, by the way. He does think that 5G is the reason why they can't think of Neil Patrick Harris's name.
Wow.
First initial, the first name.
It's so sad. I have it now, and I'm probably 10 years. No. And I have it you, and I'm 10 years younger than you.
And
I might be 15 years young. I don't know how old you are, but I have it too. It starts with an N.
Neil Patrick Harris.
I know. It's fucked up.
I can't believe it.
It's fucking 5G,
so my brother,
dude.
So one of the things I picked up in that is where he goes, dude, I couldn't think of it, and I'm 10 years younger than you. I might be 15 years younger than you. Who looks better?
Wow.
Between Cato Kalin and Jamie Kennedy. So when he said that, I'm like, I got to look this up. Jamie Kennedy's 54 years old. Cato Kalin is 66 and looking amazing, I have to say.
There's hope for us all.
Very impressive.
I think we all look that good when we stand next to Jamie Kennedy.
Maybe that's what it is.
Spare some change.
So,
yeah. Notice how bored Jamie was the whole time Cato was telling his story. Like, he could not have been more distracted and more mumbly and disinterested. And the second we're playing the guess the first initial game, he's wildly animated and engaged and couldn't be more excited. What an asshole.
He really is. Yes, he makes everything about himself.
He was empowered.
Yes. So this is just a funny comment after they're talking about Neil Patrick Harris for a little bit. Because, of course, this is at a Playboy mansion.
Was he straight then?
I have no idea.
But
I just was talking. It was my first time.
It wasn't a gay bar over there.
No, I know.
And it was Neil Patrick Harris. Was he straight back then? When did he decide to become gay? Do you remember?
Whenever it was issued to him, like you get it in the mail, I think from the LA
It's
County.
like an AARP card.
Yeah,
Like,
at
oh,
some
I'm
point.
gay now. Okay, cool.
After
With
your
jury duty.
Yeah.
Was he
13th birthday or quinceanera or something, and then you get your card.
straight to
That's how it is in LA. I don't know how it is in Rochester.
Right, yeah, no, LA is obviously very different.
Mm-hmm.
You had, I don't know if I want to play these clips, but you watched one other thing where he was watching the Scream from 2022 trailer.
Oh, we can just talk about it because there's nothing to see, and I
Yeah.
don't want you to get copyright.
Yeah.
Struck. It's just unbelievable how much of a John thing he's doing of going, wow. Oh, shit. He's just watching the Scream trailer and has nothing to say and nothing to add. But it is like far and away the most views of any videos that he does. And it's really worth noting, just if I could connect everything and tie it all together. Fucking we complain that Opie won't talk about any of the things that we want him to talk about unless he is forced to by the chat. Well, I guess all that people really want to talk to Jamie Kennedy about is Scream. So he goes out of his way to do everything Scream related, but not like he's forced to. He does it by choice. So him just sitting there watching the new trailer for Scream that he's not in is like 150,000 views. And people love it. Like they're so excited. The comments are all full of love. If Opie actually had a show called Reacting to Anthony's first show, everyone that watched Ant's show would want to see it. Instead, he's got to be this sneaky little weasel.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a good point. He's leaning into it.
And I'm sure what Jamie Kennedy is thinking is that all these Scream videos are like funding his conspiracy theory ones that get the 1,000, 2,000
the important
views.
ones. Yeah. He's got
the message.
He's got to get out there. He's watching this trailer, and it is funny because it's like all the people from the original cast they brought back. I've watched Scream, but I haven't watched them all. I don't know if he was killed off or why Jamie Kennedy's not in the most recent one. But one of the new cast members says a line that Jamie Kennedy said in Scream, and he gets very excited. Like a little kid, he's like, oh, that's my line. That was my line. I said that line.
And the comments were like, it was amazing when Jamie saw them saying his line. Like it meant something to people that watched that stuff, and he's giving it to them.
All right, so that is, we talked a lot about it. That is Jamie Kennedy's show. And glad we were able to check this out. I might have to keep tabs on this Jamie Kennedy fella. Seems like he's off the tracks a little bit.
It's not going to get better. He's not going to show up and suddenly have it all together and been like, the haters are allowed to have their opinion and I have mine. And now back to explaining things rationally.
I don't think he's going to figure it out.
What other movies do you think he'll figure are real?
Oh, that's a fun thought experiment. Like not Vanilla Sky, the Minority Report.
Oh yeah,
that's one that a lot of people always point to as like, see, I mean, I'm one of those people who point to that, but like a lot of that shit came true.
I point to Idiocracy.
Yes, Idiocracy is one that people point to all the time, especially with the current administration. That group chat thing is fucking wild, man. That is crazy shit. Anyway, getting off of politics. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. We appreciate you. We have coming up a lot of stuff to talk about. Michael Ray Bauer entering the Dabbleverse. We have a quick hit on Frenchie Hana introducing us to her new friend. Howard Stern reading the comments. Opie with Steve Grillo. So all of that is coming up. But first, I want to thank you guys for using the Super Tip system. supertip.gg/WATP is where you can go to support the show and participate in the show like this. Anonymous, $5. Leah Thompson would rather engage in borderline zoophilia with Howard the Duck than go to a convention. Adam disagrees.
I do. But I love Howard the Duck.
It's a good movie.
It is.
Holds up.
You're just thinking of the tits.
I know. Duck tits. There's no other movie we can see that.
It's true.
Daddy Poopy coming in.
Jesus for Christ, Carl! Did I cut your hair? It's hideous! Hi, Adam, producer Chris. Fill this snatch!
Wait, now that's my wife? Hold on a second. All right, we definitely got to get a Jenny Jingles voice on here. I don't want Rosie O'Donnell, retard Rosie O'Donnell being my wife. And I am due for a haircut. That is true.
I don't know about the disgusting Hackamania event, but my buddy Ray told me he got an invite to this thing called Diddle House. This guy called ISO also invited me. We're supposed to watch some tapes.
Now I see why OJ's turned up by this event.
Have fun.
Now it makes sense.
That's not a good OJ impression.
Amanda, it's not an impression.
Whatever it is. The
I know
AI is not-
you would think OJ would be pretty easy to pull off. It's very monotone.
I got a good OJ.
Oh, let's hear it.
I think the key to a good OJ is you got to make a really strong random statement and then just back off it immediately.
Okay, I like it.
I feel strongly that it doesn't matter.
That's pretty good. I like it. Amanda Lynn Nappy coming in.
Jamie, your podcast is not interesting. Why don't you try having a goal every episode and beg your listeners for money? It's much more respectable than pushing conspiracy theories. And start drinking.
Yes. I can't wait till he's in his consulting phase of his career. He's just going around telling people how to do a professional broadcast. Anonymous coming back in.
Maybe Carl buying a house next to Stuttering John is proof that the Matrix is real, or maybe that these two are the same level of stupid. And how do these simulation theory people explain Kensington?
Okay.
I am hard to listen to. I get it now.
That I'm going to give you right there, Mr. Bush. The fact that we both bought houses a mile apart from each other in Cape Coral. All right,
There's aliens. Proof there's aliens.
Proof there's aliens and that the Matrix is a documentary. All right, I'm back.
Good excuse. Thanks. Minutes after bragging I could beat another loser in a pour-off, I get a call from a collection agency. That was clearly the Matrix too.
I just saw that video. Doom just put out the clip where he called back a voicemail he got. Chad Zumach did. And it was a collection agency. They're like, oh, yeah, thanks for calling back. You're Chad Zumach. He's like, oh, shit.
This is Muddy Mudshark.
Yeah, right. JFK Headchunk's been a member for 6 months over here. Thank you, JFK Headchunk. 6 months, and I have not received my Mainstays 2-slice toaster with 6 shade settings and removable crumb tray. Please advise. Thank you. Please send an email to customer support on that one. I don't know why that hasn't arrived yet. Nick from Sweden with another super sticker. Now 40 of these things. I should probably learn what that is. Do you have any idea what that is, Adam? Swedish.
SEK?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the beauty of being an American. We only have to know one language, and it's just dollars, baby. That's all that matters.
Everything else is a doohickey.
Me143 says, Unboxing Eric is the Eric show, you copying hacks. I know. Unboxing Eric with my buddy Casey Day. I'm very familiar. Does a great job. He's a big fan. Duke of the Donkeylips, Chris Popke. I never see WTP live. It's still mediocre real time. Well, thank you very much. I don't see how it could be better in real time. It could be worse without the editing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect better. Could you imagine someone tunes in, they're just like, this is even better when they don't edit it and make it good. Wouldn't make sense. Rocco Orb 2025 bucks says, I wish the T1000 would go back to 05 so it could prevent Jamie Kennedy from making Son of the Mask.
He's got a lot of podcasts about Son of the Mask. There's
Does
a
he
lot
really?
with that title. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen that movie, have you?
Nope.
Yeah, because it was all about Jim Carrey. That's why the mask worked.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the script.
Vinegar Lips says, what did Adam know about Danny Masterson? Hashtag Adam knew. This is a new thing we're starting.
I mean, that's a complicated answer. It would take a while, but I'm happy to get into it.
All right. Well, not for this program, but sometime in the future. Were you friends with Danny?
Yeah, we did a show together for many years.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. We were very close, and it's very interesting watching all the stuff go down with ESO because you think you know somebody.
Interesting.
And it turns out you don't, but we can get more into that on a later show when we cover.
You know what? I would love to talk to you and actually Dick Masterson. I realize it sounds weird, but Dick has a theory on Danny Masterson that kind of made me think that there's more to it than what the media has told us.
Yeah, you don't know why, but just putting Bush and Dick together sounds right to you. Just feels right.
No, that's not what I meant.
Any
I
excuse
do understand
to talk
that.
to Dick, I'm in.
I've been straight for a long time. I do understand
Since
that.
when?
I just meant Masterson and Masterson.
When did you get your letter?
Yeah, right. It's not like they're brothers. Fuck off, everyone.
Straight the whole time. Huh?
Pink like Peachy $5 says Jamie sounds like he's losing the battle with a KO.
Mm-hmm. He really does.
It's good. I like that. Takedown DDT $20. Thank you, Takedown DDT. Hey, Carl. Don't get to catch the show live too often. Really like having more of Adam Busch in the Dabbleverse. Looking forward to Dabble House. Yeah. DabbleCon.live, April 11th and 12th. And I didn't mention this before, but when you order the pay-per-view, we'll be watching or we'll be listening to the tape season 2. Of course, that will stay up for everyone who purchased that. They can watch it. If they can't watch it live, you can watch it anytime thereafter if you just want to watch it again. I know I will be doing. The Looney Tunes critic, just for the record, Haterade is delicious. Thank you, Looney Tunes critic. And he comes back with a 10 spot and says, Adam's right. When I lived in Atlanta, my buddy worked in TV, and Leah Thompson was his director once. He introduced me to her, and because of that, I've seen the woman genuinely happy. This wasn't it. Well, Adam might know her better than you do, but that's interesting.
He's probably right. He's probably right.
All right. You just did an OJ thing where you like had this
Have strong and then
opinion,
completely
like, what do I know?
no backbone. I would never, ever share the stage with Nick Rekieta for reasons I can't explain or think of.
Right. The one pun, $2. Adam, when talking Jamie, Tom, Chad, it's comedian. Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Comedian Jamie Kennedy. Take down DDT, $5. My friends worked for the company that makes e-meters in Ohio. Suffice to say, it's all BS. Wait a second. You're telling me a sci-fi writer who couldn't write his way out of a paper bag couldn't develop technology to understand what was going on with our, I don't even know what the words are.
Your thetan levels.
Thetan levels, that's it. God, I haven't had the Scientology network in my house in a long time. I miss it.
All I'm saying is take down. He sounds like a suppressive person.
The one pun says, you can see Jamie in Vegas busking on Fremont Street. I believe that. Maybe we'll get into Hackamania. Tex Hula. Carl, you've said bless your heart means F you in the South. It's actually a sarcastic way to say, aw, poor baby. All right, I can see that too. I mean, I was told when we were down in Nashville, I was told by Southerners that bless your heart is pretty much like go fuck yourself.
Well, poor baby is pretty much go fuck yourself.
I was going to say anyone that says that to me is
very similar.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble with my muffler. It's making a lot of noise and it's kind of hanging out. Oh, poor baby. Are you going to fix it or not? What's happening here?
Amanda Lynn Nappy is still supporting us over on our super tip system, supertip.gg/WATP.
It's a Swedish krona, you dumb fuck.
Swedish krona, thank you. I appreciate you stuttering, John. He had to get a jab in there, didn't he? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for the support. At this time of the program, I want to talk about our
Cringe of the Week. Cringe of the Week.
This one comes in from Robo Shitstain MK9000. Now, Gavin Newsom has a new podcast. I think it's called This Is Gavin Newsom. And the whole point of this podcast is for Gavin to seem like he's not a lunatic and to kind of center himself politically so he can make a run for it in 2028. And he's trying to be a viable presidential candidate. He just had a lot of disasters happen in his state. And so he's like, he doesn't have a lot of support of the party, I would say, right now. So he's trying to change that. And he's had on some interesting guests. I watched him with Michael Savage. I used to listen to Michael Savage way, way back. He was syndicated here in Rochester. And he had Steve Bannon on. But he also has on some Democrats, like Tim Walz was recently on the show. And it's actually more interesting to listen to him talk to Tim Walz because Gavin Newsom is trying to tell Tim Walz here in this clip that, like, you disagree with Republicans. That doesn't mean you should demonize them and say that they're all scum. And I think that's a good point. I think all politicians should think that way. If people vote for the other side or you disagree with them, it doesn't make them a bad person. They just have different ideas of what would make this country better, our lives better. Is that a controversial thing? I don't think so.
Divisive. Divisive.
It's divisive. Well, I can tell you that Tim Walz is not having it. It does not get through to him as Gavin's trying to explain this.
This is part of the conversation I'm trying to have is you got to respect people you disagree with, even, and you can't just dismiss people. This
How do you
notion
fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
But it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought.
These are bad guys, though. These are bad guys.
But they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
I think we have to first understand what their motivations are. I think we have to understand what they're actually doing. And
you don't think
that's
it's racism and misogyny?
Jesus, Tim Walz learned nothing from getting blown out in this election. So his first thought is, people who I disagree with, I want to fight, and I think I can beat them up. And then he says, well, we can just censor them, right? Just make sure they don't have a voice, and then people can't hear what they have to say. We should probably do that. And then it's just like, yeah, but, there actually are some real things here that are motivating them to have these ideas. Yeah, racism and misogyny. Sure, Tim. Yes, all these people are just evil, awful people that society should just get rid of. Good talk, buddy.
He really hasn't learned anything, and he's still doubling down on this same kind of approach. And it's like when they have two actors and they're doing an improv exercise, and when this starts to happen, you stop the exercise because one of them's not playing. You can't just say no to everything the other person's saying, or you're just not listening, or you don't hear him. He said no like 4 times. He's trying to talk about something else, and you hit him over the head with a bat. Okay, what about a larger bat? What if we get 12 bats? Enough with the bats. It's like, maybe there's something else. Maybe this is why we have this paralysis.
But these Republicans, if we just had more name calling, would that solve the issue? I mean, we could probably stub their toes or something, or I don't know, hit their dog real hard. What can we do about
flaming bag of poop?
Yeah, there we go. That'll fix it, right, Adam?
A stun gun. I'm compromising.
All right, very good. Tim Walz, you're amazing. We love you, buddy. We have Donkeylips, Michael Ray Bauer. Real quick before we do that, I do appreciate people supporting the show with supertip.gg/WATP.
Yo, my knickers. Wedges for Adam Busch. Saturday, people stole my Nissan.
Yes, that is the difference between Wednesday and Saturday.
Thanks for including me.
Listeners, I was just hearing Joey C. It probably was on Tukey's show last night.
Yeah.
Where Joey C. once again is talking about how much money. Oh, no, you know what? I think it might have been on Melton's show, because he was talking about how much money Patrick Melton owes him for being part of the super tip system. And he's just like, I'm talking to a lawyer, which is, of course, Mbessie. So, of course, he's getting involved with Joe in the Joey C business and talking about all this shit. And Patrick just goes, all right, I'll pay you $2,600 and you have 14 hours to say yes to this. So I'll have to find out what the update is on that. I'll have to reach out to Patrick and see if...
How much was Joey saying he was owed?
He thinks that he's owed tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the reason why he thinks that is because myself, Tukey, Patrick, we all lie about how much money we make off of just Joey C's voice as if we're paying attention to that. We're like, oh my God. Tukey's just like, I've made like $30,000 just from Joey C chats. It just pisses him off. He's like, what? It's $30,000.
Integrity verification.
So yeah, it's fun. KFT coming in.
2 knickers stole my truck. Also, Adam Busch and I used to hang out at the Blue Oyster. Let's go, Jerome, and let's shove a mug in my prison purse.
Again, thanks for including me. And it was the Hotel Coral Essex.
Carl, thank you for playing my super tip the other day on PDP. I was at work on Saturday and sent it when Kumio was on.
The Matrix has to be real. Jamie Kennedy should not have had a career. Which pill did he take, the red one or the blue one? Looks like I'm late again. Guess I'll see this on Saturday.
Destriga, thank you very much for chipping in. The blue one. It's taking Viagra. I'm blue pilled over here.
I love that he was choking on his own.
Yeah. Sometimes,
very realistic.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Audiophile America coming in with $10. Thank you.
My theory about Danny Masterson is that his cock is delicious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we should get into that. We should
That's not the
explore that.
That's not what I heard him say. It could be true, but what do I know about it? Okay. Michael Ray Bauer. Now, this is a guy that was on Nickelodeon's Salute Your Shorts back in the 90s. I was a young kid. I remember this show being on. I've watched episodes of it. He was kind of like a chubby comic relief guy on the show. And from there, he's done some voiceover work, and he's gotten some roles in TV shows that you've heard of. He's had a similar career to Adam Busch. And so he is not sure what to do with himself anymore, and he's just streaming from his apartment. His apartment is 480 square feet, and it has no kitchen. I didn't know this was legal.
Is he King Krober's roommate?
Where does he live?
He lives in L.A.
Okay.
How could that be possible with all of the regulations and things they have? You'd think they'd be like, no, you gotta have a kitchen. Anyway, so Donkeylips here is doing his show. Things are not going well. Patrick Melton plays clips all the time and clowns him a little bit. So he's been kind of pushing back at that and talking about how he's in the Dabbleverse and describes what the Dabbleverse is, which is always fascinating to me.
Can you just let me in on he's been streaming for a while? For how long? Like
years.
And he has his own show, and the show is just him talking about his life and
yes, and his depression, his mental health, and that kind of stuff.
Is this a lolcow situation, or are people supportive, or what's happening there?
It's full on lolcow.
Okay.
It's full on. This guy is a loser and can't stop advertising how big of a loser he is to everyone in the world all the time.
But then they have to quote or watch the clips and the videos, and then they say something against the other person. Then the other person watches it and goes, I have to answer them. I have to retort. I have to give my statement. So then they watch the clip of the other person talking down to them or making fun of them or critiquing them. Then they make a video critiquing that video. Then the person that made the original video critiquing them, they go back and critique that new video that they critiqued them in the video that they can't critique them. And then now they make a new video critiquing that one video. It's a never-ending cycle of bullshit.
Pretty good
now
summary.
Now do Memento. Go.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
There's been a few good summarizations of the Dabbleverse recently. I'll put that one right up there. It really is like the Crips and the Bloods. You know, the Crips do a drive-by shooting, and then the Bloods have to get revenge, and then they send their guys to go do a drive-by shooting. It's just like, we're not going to solve the problem this way. The Dabbleverse is not going to get solved, I think.
And then I go sing a song in front of Melton's house.
This was one of the best descriptions of the Dabbleverse that I ever heard.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was completely accurate.
And you can summarize it with this.
The Dabbleverse is bullshit.
Well said, my friend.
So how did he get pulled into this? How did he become aware of it? Or
Patrick Melton.
What did he do?
Well, Patrick Melton just makes fun of him on his show a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think he likes that.
He doesn't like it, okay.
No, he doesn't, because he's down on his luck. Things aren't going great for him. He's not getting consistent work. His rent just went up in his apartment. By the way, it might be in this clip package. I forget, because I had this ready to go for the last episode. His rent's going up to $1,200 a month.
Okay.
480 square foot studio with no kitchen.
I didn't know they had apartments for $1,200 in Los Angeles.
Well, right. It has to be
the cheapest I've really heard of. So, yeah.
Right. It's still way too much for 480 square feet, no kitchen. I mean, he literally has to use the sink in his bathroom for running water. Oh, it's so sad. But anyway, yeah, you were asking, how is he in the Dabbleverse? He actually explains that right here.
Great.
I don't really watch a lot of them. I don't like to get involved, but I got pulled into this shit because I'm a character.
That's right. He got pulled in because he's a character. He's too charismatic, if you ask me. That's why he's a part of this now. And so he's going to start slapping back a little bit.
I guess I have space in their head rent free.
It's close to the saying. I guess I have space in their head rent free.
Sounds more like a sublet, but I get what he's going.
yeah. All right. So this is him explaining his low-cow status.
I am easily made fun of, and I get it. I'm a low-cow. I don't want to be.
Yep, they never do.
They never do.
This already sets him above almost everyone that we cover. This makes him more self-aware, a nicer person, and just that one fact. Buddy, there are people in the sky and penthouses right now that would kill for your awareness of what's happening around you. That is remarkable.
I know who you're talking about.
Which one's in the 480 square foot prison right now? Ask yourself that.
Right.
Who's really... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he goes, I don't want to be a local. The only person who wants to be a local is Rob Solid. He's so pathetic he can't pull it off.
It's incredible.
That's amazing. But at least this guy's just like, I don't want to be the laughingstock. So this is him talking about the situation with his rent.
But I posted on Twitter, F the world, they be raising rent yearly. I can barely afford to breathe, which is true. Nowadays,
I can barely afford to breathe, which is true. No, that's free. I literally can't afford to breathe. Like, I mean, it's a saying, but okay.
It does. They charge us for the air in the tires at the gas stations here. They do. They really do.
That's true. Yep,
and it gives you that feeling. You're like, I'm paying for air in this fucking town, this motherfucker.
Nowadays, let alone this shit, $1,200 for a 430 square foot box.
Oh, 430.
I'm the man in the box with no kitchen, and it's called a studio apartment. Laughing my butt off, F you, Cali, I'm out as soon as possible.
Good.
And that is truthful. But you need $3,000 to $5,000 to move out. You need to put first and last somewhere else. You need to travel. You need to get approved. You need to do a lot of stuff.
Oof.
So I'm going to struggle there.
Aw.
I need a napkin.
No shit.
I need a napkin for he wipes his mouth on his shirt. You think? So he really is in a tough spot right here. Because he can't afford the rent, and it's going up to $1,200 a month, but he can't afford to move either. He wants to get out of California, but he's got nowhere to go.
It's very strange. I know I compare everything to John and Opie, but that's
hard
what I'm
not
good
to.
at. It's really hard. They all suffer from the same thing. It's like watching John in his Canoga Park apartment, except being honest.
Yeah.
Like actually admitting the amount of money he truly needs to better himself. All I was thinking while I was watching this is, why the fuck are you in LA? Like there's nothing for you in Los Angeles.
He's an actor.
But everything's self-tapes now. There's nothing happening in person. Yeah. And this guy should be working as a voiceover cartoon guy.
He has done some of that. Yeah.
Of course he has. He'd be great at it. Like he doesn't need to be in LA. He should be in a small town that he can afford, and he should spend his money on gear, and he's being honest about everything. Like it's crazy. He's not talking about give me money for a boat. Could you imagine if this guy was talking about raising money for a boat, or bragging about the vacation he just took in Jamaica he has no photos from? Can you imagine?
Or how he got laid by the Vietnamese girl last night, but she has to go home for a couple months, but she'll be back.
He'd have more viewers, but he'd be horrible. And I like this guy.
Well, you just saw him wipe his mouth off on his shirt and declare that he needs a napkin. This is why.
Bless his heart.
My mouth constantly creates saliva. That's one of my problems with my body. That's why I've always had a lisp. My mouth just constantly creates saliva. Sometimes you'll see liquid from my mouth just constantly.
It's a good thing you grew a beard.
Wow.
Absorb some of that. Would that cause a lisp?
I don't think it's a lisp.
No.
It's more like
Succotash.
whatever you call that.
Yes. My mouth constantly creates saliva.
I didn't know there'd be boasting.
All right, so the reason why he's pulling this up is because he put on Twitter, hey, my rent's going up. This is woe is me. I got to get out of California. And of course, what kind of response is he going to get from that? Hey, Michael Ray Bauer, maybe it's time to get a job. Stop e-begging and get a job. So he's got a response.
I'm assuming they're in the Dabbleverse. But these people quoted back, well, maybe it's time you get a job. Do they think that's funny? I mean, I'm an adult. I'm not the brightest person in the room.
Right. Not the brightest marker in the shed.
Do you really think that's the answer for each individual? whenever they rant about money problems or this problems or that problem, is that the answer?
No, but specifically money problems. Yes.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
the answer.
That is
One of them.
Oh, you guys think that because I don't have any money, I should find a way to make money? Is that what you guys think I should do? Yeah. Precisely.
Is there an inheritance he's waiting for that we don't know about?
That's a good question. Maybe he's waiting for, what's that station that plays all the reruns all the time?
MeTV.
Yeah, MeTV or something. Maybe he's
Oh.
waiting for that to pick up Salute Your Shorts. And
No residuals on Nickelodeon.
residuals start
no
coming.
residuals.
Oh, is that a deal you guys had to sign?
Oh, yeah, that was the deal. That was our negotiated deal. Disney and Nickelodeon don't give you residuals. They give you little buyouts in the beginning, and then it's just we do whatever we want.
Fucked.
Mm-hmm. All those kids from that stuff, there's nothing. There's just and they don't pay the union amount either. They pay under. Like, it's all very, very cheap. MTV, Viacom, Nickelodeon.
I will say, in their defense, I'll just say this. Those shows don't have staying power. It's like, it's for that generation of kids. And it's not like there's new kids discovering Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, or Salute Your Shorts, or things like that, right? Like, you were at a show on Nickelodeon for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still in syndication? Are they playing it anywhere? Do people still discover it?
I don't think so. It comes
Yeah.
up, but no, it doesn't run. The stuff is very, very dated, and it's easy for them to just make more that relate to the kids now.
Yeah, it's kind of like a talk show or a radio show in that way, where it's like, well, I'll just make new episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
And with the kids, like, changes so frequently. But that
Yeah.
being said, I never really watched Salute Your Shorts, but I know exactly who he is. You know,
Right. Yeah, he was famous
So
on there.
They were making money off him.
Definitely.
For sure.
So he explains why this is a bad idea for him to get a job in order to afford his rent.
Maybe you meant get a job from home. Okay, we'll go there. I don't have any skills. Maybe I should get an education.
Joke's on you, idiots. I don't have any talents.
You dumb fuck.
Yeah, no one
Yeah.
paid me to do anything. That's great. It's hilarious. But to your point, Adam, he's just very honest with everything on here. You're like, I mean, people make fun of me because, yeah, I'm drooling out of my face. I can't talk. I have no money.
I was so hoping to not like him. I even chatted into Tuki Soup when he was covering him and was like, this asshole has no credits. Who does he think he is? I just thought it'd be so funny if I didn't relate to him in any way, and I thought he had no business coming into the Dabbleverse, and who the fuck does he think he is? And John's a bigger star than he'll ever be.
It's
But
gonna
I
be a
can't do it.
war.
I can't do it. He's too likable.
Could have been a Nickelodeon war.
Yeah, I wanted it. We'll have to attack Melissa Joan Hart next.
Yes, I'm on it.
Done.
So this is the last clip I have on here. This is how we're going to fix his problems.
But I just wanted to say a quick blessing out loud to each and every one of you for supporting me, sending me money, super chats, PayPal, Venmos, helping me through. I don't know how to repay you, but I fucking love you.
He's a sweet guy, right?
Yeah.
He's slow. Speaking of slow guys, look at Cardiff is here.
Hey.
What's up, Cardiff?
What?
Exactly.
Something was said.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you? Hello.
Good.
Everyone.
So your thought on this is we should leave Michael Ray Bauer alone or just donate to his show. Is that your thought on this, Adam Busch?
No, I want to keep covering it. I want
Okay.
to make fun of him. I'm sure something's going to happen. He just mentioned religion. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
So let's keep covering him. Something's going to happen. Let's see.
Very
Especially,
good.
it was interesting to see, Patrick ripping into him and KB wanting to, like, give him money and have him over right now. They both had really intense reactions to him. And he did a long rant about why KB has made it because he made a pilot. And it was so sweet, but it's worth exploring and getting into because he's going to get deeper and more involved in this thing.
In the Dabbleverse? Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot Kevin Brennan was watching, but you can't fucking find it. These assholes hide all their content, so you'll never know what happened if you weren't watching live.
It's how you know they're proud of their work. Their life's
Right,
work.
yes. Make sure you hide it right away. But yeah, apparently Kevin was donating to him, right? He was so happy that he had a new fan.
Because he said nice things about him, so we had to send him money like a stripper. It was like...
That's their world.
Could Donkeylips be who brings John back to the Dabbleverse?
Ooh.
Ooh, there's a new...
Could they team up?
They should. They are exact opposites. It's so great. So
They'd
similar,
be great
so
together.
different.
Yes, if he moved in with John.
If you like The Odd Couple, then you'll love...
It'd be awesome. All right, guys. Coming up, we still have to talk about Frenchie Hana and her new friend on Pure Genuine. Howard Stern reads YouTube comments and freaks out. Opie had Steve Grillo on his show. All of that coming up in just a moment. But first, I want to thank you fine people for supporting the show. Supertip.gg/WATP, like Tumble Dry here.
Salutations, my trio of tenacious tulips. Looking pretty today. Ready for a canoe trip.
All right. Thank you, Joey C. Oh, Koof coming in.
Even when I'm gone, there's still a bit of me left in everybody. Anybody can become Astute Joe if you wish hard enough. Kajia.
Thank you for not killing yourselves.
All right, thank you, Opie. The classic Koof line right there. And then over on Super Chats, Big Fan says, Adam, Busch as in Anheuser-Busch. Can you cut off Michelob Ultra to a certain celebrity? Do you have those types of connections?
I don't have that kind of power. But I did use claiming that I was in the Anheuser-Busch family to get out of jury duty once.
Did you?
I did.
Why would that get you out of jury duty? Was it like a DUI or something?
It was, and they said if you have any connection to alcohol, if you work in the alcohol industry, and I just slowly raised my hand, and I said, my last name is, and I have to go. They said, right this way.
You also could have said you were an actor.
No, it's LA. They don't care.
Oh, that's true.
They don't care.
He was holding a beer.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's name was Bush. My mom's name was Light. So I'm Bush Light. So obviously I'm going to have an issue with this. Big Fan also gifted 5. Who are these podcast memberships? Thank you very much for doing that.
I'm a big fan.
If you were gifted a Who Are These Podcast membership, I will tell you, go to the membership tab. That's where all the links are to all the shows we put behind the paywall, the bonus shows, and all the ones that will be coming up. You will find them there. We just did a bonus show yesterday with Blind Mike, little crossover event. AO1012, we covering the collections agency call to Chad. Oh my gosh, it just happened. So I did not have that prepped. We talked about it for a minute. You saw that, Cardiff?
Oh yeah, Doom's got the clip if you want.
Yeah.
Doom's pay.
I watched the Doom clip.
It's fantastic. Just minutes after claiming he's going to have a $50,000 bet with Rob Saul over who's poorer.
Yes.
The collection agency gets a hold of him.
The dumbest thing ever. Chad is trying to prove that he's not a poor loser. So he says that he's going to show his bank account. And if it's more money than Rob's, then it's $50,000. It's like, rich people don't have money in their bank account, idiot. Like that's how dumb Chad is. He thinks like, oh, rich people, they have a lot of money in their bank account. That'd be a really bad place to put a lot of money. That'd be really stupid.
Rich people also don't make bets about who's richer.
Correct.
Unless they're like, it's whatever that Eddie Murphy movie.
I was going to say, yeah, Trading Places. It was a $1 bet. That was the whole point. The one pun $2 says, you can't even get a closet in Portland that cheap. I think he's exaggerating. Detroit Dabbler says, Adam, ever see Sarah Michelle's boobs?
Nope.
It's a good question, though.
It's a good question.
Davey Cake says, could Adam please turn up his camera blurred dial?
No, but I have Vaseline. I can rub some more on there.
That'd be great. If you could do
You got
that.
Vaseline too.
What do you mean?
Jacking off.
Oh, all right. Check out his Vaseline. I was very confused.
Promo
what
code
we were
come.
talking about. You got a new stinger for our friend Frenchie?
Yeah.
Yes. Frenchie Hana. Oh, we're back in Vegas again. Frenchie Hana is also a person who moved from LA to Vegas. And this is a very confused individual, has a very hard time recording her show, does all the editing herself, talks about it, proud of it, has pro equipment, talks about that, proud of it. So this is a person who's doing it all as the equipment, is the host, and just did a recent show that started just like this. All right, here she comes, Frenchie Hana. Oh, Frenchie, what? We're not really. Can you speak up? We're not really hearing what you're. So this goes on. Her mic is
8
not
minutes.
on. It goes on for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Her microphone is not on, and she is just chatting away. And it's one of these things where you got to check that. If you're not wearing headphones, you got to check that sort of thing before you start doing a podcast. But correct me if I'm wrong, Producer Chris. This is not a live stream.
Oh my God.
This is recorded and then put up on the channel. And she claims she edits these. And she does. I see the editing.
Right.
So why was this left in here?
That's a very good question and begs other questions when all of a sudden she knows what to do about it.
Yes.
And yet, well, still the video goes out with the 8 minutes of silence, except for a very, very soft music bed there.
Right.
And by the way, the headphones are laying on the empty chair next to her.
Yeah. She's declared she's no longer having guests on the show because everyone's too jealous of her. But she still has the camera set up for a guest to be on the show. And she's just all the way on the right of it. So this is 8 minutes or so in. She finally gets up to fix this, which she never addresses it. She fixes it, sits back down, and never says, "Oh shit, sorry about that. You guys couldn't even hear me or anything."
Maybe she does a deaf segment at the top of the show.
Oh, maybe she's speaking in Braille.
Yes.
All right, so that's. By the way, she could kick my ass.
Yes.
She is built, man.
Okay, baby.
Big arms.
Come here.
Oh,
come here.
Oh, who are we meeting?
You guys, this is my baby right here. This is Jazzy.
Oh no.
Jazzy.
No.
Right here.
No, when she says this is my baby right here, this French bulldog is literally wearing a diaper.
Yeah.
A blue frilly diaper.
That's gross.
Jazzy right here, you guys.
Okay. So we're meeting the new co-host of the show. That's his doggy on Opie Radio. I've seen such a charismatic co-host. I'm excited about this.
Why is the dog in a diaper? Why
do you think?
Is it because she doesn't walk it, or
Correct.
it doesn't go out? Oh, come on.
I mean, that'd be my guess. Why else would you put a diaper on a dog?
I don't know. It could be on the rag. Some people do. I've seen people do it.
Okay.
I've seen people put a diaper on their dog.
All right.
They don't have them spayed or neutered or spayed.
Right, it'd be spayed in this case. I would, unless you're bleeding from your balls. Not the point. The point is, it's probably not lost on you that Frenchie has a Frenchie.
This is Jazzy right here, you guys. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to the world. Say hi.
Hi to the world. This video has 24 views.
Yeah, 5 of them were mine.
I put out a couple myself, and that was 6 days ago that this dropped. So, okay, the world.
Hi. Yes, you guys, this is Jazzy right here. My Frenchie, baby. Yes, it's my girl right here. Frenchie right here. And a Frenchie right here. Frenchie. Yes.
Now, producer Chris and I both pulled clips from this around the same time, so we didn't see each other's what we were looking at. But I saw what yours were called, and I know you have this one as well.
Yes, baby. Yes. Okay. Yes. She's an affectionist. She likes to be that close to you.
She's an affectionist.
I am too.
I believe that's a style of art. The affectionist period. I don't think that's a word.
I love when people talk about how happy their dog is and how much
Yeah.
they love being there while the dog is like frozen in fear.
Yeah, it's snorting.
Trying to get away for dear life. Yeah.
I like
The
how
dog
she's...
is-
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, just how she summed up all her thoughts by going, yes. So anyways, yes.
In conclusion.
Just sum up.
Do you think this is actually her? Like, if you went out to dinner with her, this would be how she is? Or is she, like, is this the act? Like, is this what she thinks she should be presenting?
Ask Christian Blatt that question, because he has the behind-the-scenes footage of her wishing us a happy 600th episode. She's brain dead.
Yes.
This person has been Ray DeVito'd. But we get a rare glimpse into the inner dialogue of Frenchie. Because this is now we're getting into the point of this episode.
Do you think the accident happened on her journey to Vegas? Like, she's like, I am done with all the LA bullshit. I am going to move on to a better life.
She's talking to her agent. Yeah. Like, I don't care what they're offering. I'm done with show business. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to start a new life in Vegas. I'll show all of you. Boo, yes. I hope not. That would be tragic. I know. Wouldn't make it as fun if that were the case. Let's get into it.
Like, for me, like, I step back. Like, I tell myself, like, hey, don't do that. You know that's not what you... I always remind myself, that's not you. That's not who you are. Don't do that. You know that's not you. So why would you go do that? You know that's not going to look right on you. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't step in front of that bus again.
Some inner dialogue. What's going on? But when does she have these conversations with herself is the question.
I always remind myself at any given moment. It doesn't matter if I'm going out at night to go party or if I'm going anywhere during the day. I always tell myself, don't do anything that you're not supposed to do.
You are supposed to walk your dog.
Yeah,
just so
you
you
should.
know.
You can also go outside for that.
Yep, you are actually supposed to do that.
Maybe
the
tell
dog wants to go
yourself
outside too. This is so funny because so Frenchie, this whole point of this is like, be yourself, don't be a follower, don't give in to peer pressure. It's the whole message Frenchie's trying to get out there. But sometimes that works against you.
A lot of times people tell me I'm pretty boring at times. I can be fun.
Can you?
But people tell me, oh, you're boring.
I love that.
No one has ever heard a genuinely fun person say, I can be fun.
That can be fun. But, you know, people tell me I'm boring, but what do they know? They don't know how fun I am. Do you have anything else you want to play from the clips you pulled?
Dude, we pulled almost exactly the same ones.
You have the wrap up. I don't know if that's important or not.
It's not. It
Okay.
goes on too long.
All right.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving, says producer Chris. That's how you produce around here. And there is something that I have to talk to you guys about because it's rare that something happens on the Howard Stern show that I'm interested in because he's so boring. But it did happen this week. Okay. Triumph, the insult comic dog, Robert Smigel, was a recent guest on the Howard Stern show. I think it was last week. And so what Howard does is he likes to read the emails that come in and the feedback about the week prior. And so he's talking about that.
Listeners loved hearing Triumph, the insult comedy dog, visit our office and roast my staff. So I was really excited because Triumph was so great when he was here. And then we put out the video. I saw it on our app and I saw it on YouTube where Triumph was running around roasting everyone.
Okay. And my buddy Jay, the light guy in the Isotopes, actually sent me this to say, hey, you should check out this video. And I thought it was cool. I didn't think Triumph was at his best. Triumph's good. I didn't think he was at his best. But I thought it was cool to see like behind the scenes of the Howard Stern show. So you can see all the guys you hear about or hear on air.
I was following the scent of poorly wiped assholes, and this is where it led me. This is incredible. Everywhere you look, there's photos of Howard. Saddam Hussein had less photos of himself. Hey, I wonder if the staff is supposed to avoid direct eye contact with the photos of Howard, too. I love Gary Delabate, Howard and Beth's first rescue pet. So let's get intimate, Gary. You never talk about your childhood. Is that because you no longer speak to the man in the big yellow hat? Don't bare your teeth at me, Gary. Oh, sorry, that's just how you look. I read his wonderful bio, and so did two other people. A lot of facts about you I didn't know. You love your records, such as the one he has for most teeth in a single mouth. I'm standing outside the bullpen where a dozen writers are hard at work coming up with different words for penis and vagina. It's a veritable who's who of who's going to be my Uber driver in 6 months. It looks like a kill shelter for fat white guys. I'm so proud of Jason Kaplan. You know, Jason used to be morbidly obese, but after years of hard work and dieting, he's now just ugly. Look at that smile. Give me that smile. It's great to see where the old Cleveland Indians mascot ended up. Chief Wahoo! No, he doesn't look like an Indian. Seriously, you look like someone had 5 seconds to quickly draw a Jew. They told me you have a wife and a small child, but now that I've met you, I realize that those are the same person. Look at how tough.
That's Mehmet Walker, fan of WATP, I believe. So I'm told.
What was he working on there?
So I'm told.
What was on his desk there? Was that like WavePad? What kind of? It was like GarageBand. What was that?
Oh, that was like Cool Edit Pro, actually.
Yeah, that is some.
I used to use that a couple decades ago.
There's a lot of people in that office for that show.
I know, it's a lot. And then he goes and talks to Richard and Sale, which is cool, just to see like those guys.
Yeah, in their basement.
They sit across from each other. It's got to be a trip, I can only imagine. All right, so you get a sense of what this is that Howard's talking about.
Carl, this video, I follow a lot of Stern staff on Instagram, on Twitter. Well, not on Twitter, but on Instagram. This was in everybody's timeline. This was everybody's post. Was like they were pumping out the Triumph clips. Like, finally, we have something that happened on the show that's something.
Yes, and this is something that wasn't on the show proper.
Yeah.
So a little behind the scenes thing. So Howard's all excited to check out. Like, people must be going nuts for this video.
And I go, you know what? That was so funny. I'm sure the audience loved it. And I went on our YouTube or something, and I go on
something,
and I said, I got to read I never read the comments about our show, but people had to love Triumph. So I go into the comments, and the first comment I read is, finally, something funny on the Howard Stern show. And I went, and it really stuck with me. I was like, fuck this. I never read the comments for that reason. What do you mean fine? You mean I haven't done anything funny? In that, I start arguing with the comment.
Fuck you!
All right, maybe I'm not funny, but I had to have done by accident something funny.
So Howard's reading the comments, which is not a smart move. And Zach, who actually wrote this into me, told me about this, found that comment as well. There it is. Finally, something funny on Stern has 239 likes on that comment. Okay, so bear that in mind as we find out how Howard decided to deal with this, trying to get some advice from another buddy of his who hosts the show.
So I was like all miffed about it. And then when I went to that wedding in Mexico, I saw Jimmy Kimmel, and I said, Jimmy, I tell him the story. I said, because he was telling me, oh, well, Triumph was so great. And I go, yeah. I said, I read the comments. The first comment is Howard finally did something funny. Jimmy goes, fuck you. You can delete those guys. I go, because the team here told me on social media, I would turn off all comments, right? But everyone said to me on social media, if you turn off all comments, people do not like it. They want to read the comments underneath. I go, but I don't want to read them. It doesn't make me happy to hear that I finally did something funny or finally something funny happened and it didn't even really involve me. I don't want to read that, and I don't want my fans reading that because maybe I'm duping some people into thinking I'm funny.
Maybe.
Yes. No, that's very funny. I don't want this getting out that I've lost my fastball. I don't want everyone talking about that on the internet.
Yeah, don't go to Jimmy Kimmel about that. Mean Tweets was one of the best segments ever.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
These people who leave comments would never, ever believe for a second that the people they're commenting on are more obsessed with that comment than the commenter is about the show. Like that guy made what he thought was, and I'm sure is the nicest comment on that thread, one of the more popular ones, and moved on with his day. It's been a week, and Howard's having a summit with Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and Conan O'Brien to discuss the next move for him to emotionally get over the impact of this tweet or this post. That is insanity.
And Hellraiser69, who left this comment that became a whole segment on the Stern Show, is here in our chat. That was a happy accident. He says, well done, Hellraiser69. Amazing. Good work.
Do you think that's the first feedback or constructive criticism Howard's received in a while?
Yes, I think he's surrounded by yes men. And the fact that he finally went, oh, let's see what the people are saying. Went, what the fuck?
Because we know all the comments used to be off, right? For all of
Yes.
his stuff, which is a
yeah.
sign of fear and weakness.
Correct.
When did that switch? Was it just with this clip? Or
No, it's been going on for a while. I think that Howard, they just don't tell Howard what's going on.
Right.
Or they might lie to him because I have a clip coming up that tells me that maybe the staff is sugarcoating and like, oh, yeah, everyone's saying it's great. Because he always goes to the emails, and Fred, I think, is the one who curates the emails. And it's amazing how every
Right.
emailer.
You mispronounced rights.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Every emailer loves everything that they do. It's all just very positive talk on here. And listen, I don't do that. Listen to our voicemail segment coming up in a little bit.
Oh, boy.
The fact that Howard can't realize that that was a compliment and you should just take it for what it is and build off of it. It is a good thing. If they like that,
not a compliment.
do more of it.
It reminds me, I used to complain about this when people would comment on each individual episode of WATP in our subreddit. And I hate when people would be like, this was the funniest episode in a long time. Like, what the fuck you? Like it's a backhanded compliment. When you say, like, oh, finally something funny got stirred.
But it's on them. It's for their taste.
Of course.
It really is.
All right. So what's the solution to this? Does Jimmy know what to do?
So I got good at myth. So Jimmy says to me, you could leave the comments on, but you can also delete the assholes. You can block them.
Oh, that's
go,
a
"Yeah."
whole, you're now in business with them.
That's what I said to Jimmy. And Jimmy goes, it is no big deal. Everyone on the staff can do it. Delete the assholes. He says, even on his own media,
Really?
Jimmy sees a comment, he deletes
leaves
it.
Nothing but pleasant statements about it.
Yes. Why am I the only tool out there? And I'm listening to people tell me, oh, you have to have the negative comments. Fuck you.
I don't know that Jimmy wants this getting out. Jimmy's going around deleting comments on social media that are unfavorable to him. I bet this was a private conversation.
How many comments does that leave?
Sorry.
Yeah. And he's also talking about he's on a bigger show with a bigger audience and more engagement. Howard doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't realize what he sounds like. Howard, you used to be the comment. You
Yes.
used to be the negative comment on Hollywood. Now you're Hollywood, and you're silencing the negative comments.
He's for his freedom of speech.
It wasn't even that bad. So
No, it really was. I mean, he should have just accepted it. It was, I don't know if you caught when Triumph said Gary Delabate, Howard and Beth's first rescue pet.
Rescue, yeah.
It's funny. It's the first funny thing I've heard in there in a while.
Right.
You know, just give us more of that. I'm sorry you weren't involved, Howard. You heard the intro to what he said. He was like, as Triumph roasts our staff and something or something. It was such an AI script written intro. And then he took it from there and started riffing off of it. But this is really no different than what we just watched Jamie Kennedy do from his bunker below Las Vegas. You know, it's paranoid, delusional stuff. No matter how much money you have or how much success you have, some people, the second the comment turns to them, everything's different, and it's a whole other world.
Yeah, isn't it funny that Donkeylips is handling this the best out of all of them so far?
It makes the most sense. It's like an apocalypse now, and people get killed, but it's the guy on acid, the fool, right, who makes it through because he's just wow. Donkeylips is the wise man for all of us, who's handling this better than all the people who have the success he would dream of.
And now that Howard's brought up that he read a comment, this opens up the floodgates, and Robin goes, I read comments too.
And you said something, and I laughed at it or agreed with it.
Yeah.
And the comment was Robin collecting her paycheck today.
Yeah. Like, I didn't say anything, but like, you fake laughed.
Right. I was just like, ugh.
So now it turns out Robin's getting butthurt by this shit as well, but she wasn't going to bring it up until Howard did. So now they're both talking about how they get easily offended by comments. Bad move to do on your show. I think more comments are going to come in now that there's a possibility they're going to get read by Howard or Robin. So Howard decides, new rule.
Now I'm pissed at the person who told me that we have to allow these comments. No, new rule. Instead of these guys who work for me busy with their own accounts, everyone go on there and delete any asshole
Clean
on there.
it up.
Only, yeah, here's what I want. I want North Korea level censorship on my comments. And when I say North Korea level, I'm talking about, you ever see anything other than praise for Kim Jong-un? No.
Okay. Sounds like a funny line. Problem is, he is being serious about this.
You know, in the old days, if you didn't like the show, you just didn't listen. Now people listen, but they say, I suck. Fuck
They
you.
have to chime in.
I am being serious. Who do I talk to around here to give everyone the ability? And don't give me any bullshit. Well, they might delete someone. And I don't care. If there's any question, delete. I am funny.
So that's a message going out to everyone in the back office right there. We got to get on it. I mean, this reminds me of the Pelican brief where Howard came on the stage in front of his entire staff and said, start creating sock accounts and telling Brad Pitt that he should come on the Howard Stern show.
From F the FCC to North Korea's got the right idea.
Yes, I know. He really has gone a 180 in every aspect of his broadcasting.
The problem is all the things he said during the Pelican brief worked. He got Lady Gaga.
Yep. No, that's true.
Yeah.
What's the book? Getting shit
things
done.
done.
Getting things done. Like they got things done.
They got it. What he
Marcy
wanted.
Turk, knows what she's doing apparently.
And he got the re-up. It all happened.
Yeah.
It's really a sad state of affairs to think that he's I don't know how to say this right. Come back to me. Let me think about it for a second.
Give it some thought.
He stinks.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way.
You don't have to always be eloquent, Adam Busch. Sometimes.
No, it's worth it.
We love the people at the Howard Stern show. I just want to point that out. I know a lot of people listen and they're great people. But you could tell this really bothered Howard. This one comment, it stuck with him big time.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. You know what? I'm going to go on there and read the positive comments about Triumph the Insult Dog. Finally, something funny on how. And what an insult. I had nothing to do with that.
He keeps repeating it over and over again. And you know he's neurotic. And so this is going on in his brain. And this is another example, evidence, therapy is not working for him. The fact that he's letting something like that bother him that much, you would think a therapist would be like, Howard, you've made $1 billion on the radio. You have 3 mansions, a beautiful wife, more cats you know what to do with. Who gives a shit that a guy said it's the funniest thing in a while? How could that possibly bother you in any way?
Hellraiser 69.
Yeah, right. Hellraiser 69 is ruining your week. What do you have to say for yourself, Hellraiser 69? Oy vey is right.
If someone wanted to make a viral moment, and it's impossible because he's built his life in a way that this is not an option. It'll never happen. But if someone could Stuttering John Howard Stern and just get him coming into somewhere and ask him one of those classic questions that he used to ask other people and watch how he turns red and it gets full of rage and can't respond and hopefully has one of those Jerry Seinfeld or Alec Baldwin moments where you just see, why was it okay for you to do this to people but not okay for people to do to you?
This is where he needs his dad's voice. Stop being stupid, you moron.
Yes.
Like he needs somebody yelling at him.
Howard, what'd you do with your sense of humor?
What sense of humor?
I mean, this is the stuff he criticizes in politicians, that they're busy worrying about image and these things and their own ego and not the quality of the work they're doing.
Well, fortunately, he's got a good friend in Jimmy Kimmel who's taught him the right way to deal with this.
I see these other people. I always go, how do they have such positive comments? Oh, the people on the show delete. That's what Jimmy gave me the secret. What's Fred doing all day that he can't delete some comments? Give him something to do.
I bet he really does feel that way too. He's just like, yeah, why isn't Fred over there helping me out? So I was going through the comments. Now, you saw the one that he's talking about, 239 likes. Typically, these are organized based on popularity. But all of the comments that I'm seeing on here now have fewer likes, are showing up higher, and are all positive about what a great video this was.
Well, you can change how they're sorted too on the top.
All right. Let's see.
Sort by. Yeah.
Sort by.
Oh, you got top
yeah,
comments.
top
Yeah,
comments.
no, you got top
That's how I
comments.
always look at it. So it's kind of interesting. It seems like maybe something's gone into effect over there where they're already
Can you do
trying
me a
to
favor,
clean
Carl?
this up.
Can you hit Control F and search for Hellraiser?
Oh, yeah, of course I can do that. Let's see if it's still on here. Hell.
Oh,
yeah,
there it
there
is.
it is.
All right.
It's got 16 replies to it.
Well,
Oh, it's
pretty
way,
liked.
it's way down the page, though. Holy shit. It's almost at the bottom. So I'll give it a like. Good stuff, Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. All right, so this is one more clip. And this is where I think the staff is trying to protect Howard and just give him the positive things that are happening.
In fact, comedian Bobby Moynihan commented on our Instagram post with an applause emoji. That's a high compliment. Saturday Night Live's Bobby Moynihan.
So Bobby Moynihan gave him a thumbs up or an applause emoji. And they're like, Howard, yeah, I know that Hellraiser guy's a jerk, but look at this on Instagram. Look at it. See? You could be in a good mood today, right? That's Bobby Moynihan.
That's a good thing, Howard.
Once again,
Bobby
some
Moynihan.
comedian just went like emoji. And now they're bringing it to the king, and like it's this big deal, and it's getting all this attention. Howard, if you cared about your show just a little bit, as much as you care about what people have to say about it, you can't stop their feelings.
It's kind of
Yeah.
Just it's kind of sad that he can only point out one comedian that's given a thumbs up on his video.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. A guy who, I haven't seen Bobby Moynihan in anything in a while either, so I don't know what he's up to.
No, but every comedian would be following Howard Stern back in the day, at least. He was essential. He was. You wanted to get on Howard Stern. Now comedians don't even give a shit. They don't.
Just the fact that he's bringing up comments and stuff, he's asking for a world of hurt.
It shows you what his staff is going through, because anything that goes wrong is his staff's fault. Like Hellraiser 69 made a comment on a message board, and it's his staff's fault, and somebody's getting fired. Anything that gives him a feeling means the staff has got to be rearranged, and they're fucking up. So yeah, they're protecting him, and they did a bad job of protecting him here. It's hard to believe, knowing what incredible taste Howard has and how many people he's discovered, that he would find this show funny. Like that he would genuinely be like, oh, knock at the door. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, I know.
I just
another
don't
bad
see
impression of someone. I love the fact that Fred Norris is going to be up Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. deleting comments for his Monday morning shift and just going, it's fucking Hellraiser.
He just finished writing Lady Gaga. He just finished asking her to get on the show. Now he's got to go create another account.
All right. Speaking of guys who aren't dealing with 2025 very well.
Ba, 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 ba.
Cardiff, you going to hang with us?
I'll be quiet.
Okay, fair enough. Cardiff is here in protest. Opie's doing an interesting thing on his YouTube channel lately that I've been picking up on. And I think I picked up on this because I was watching Patrick Melton talk about how Chad does a thing with his YouTube channel where every video he puts up, he just makes members only. And so Opie, you can see he's got a few videos, and then it's like members only on a lot of these videos. And one of the reasons for doing that is that it makes it so you can't see the view count. Because the view count on a lot of these videos is pretty embarrassing unless it's about Anthony or Jim or something. But then I discovered something else I guess I should have known about. So if you go to Opie's live stuff, I mean, everything is members only. So he does these streams, and if you don't watch it that day, it's gone, right? But then you go to check out Opie Unleashed NYC, the YouTube channel that everyone's talking about. And I thought this was supposed to be him walking around Manhattan with his Zoom recorder and cell phone out. But now look what's going on. All of his live stuff is living here and still available. So this is like his strategy to build up this channel. It's just his podcast now.
Yeah.
It's all the same content as his other channel.
He could be unleashed in his house.
I don't think that's true. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on that.
Yeah, but
Doesn't
see,
even make
Carl,
sense.
this channel has less subscribers, so that makes sense.
Nope.
Oh, really? No.
Just the opposite.
Wait.
Actually, makes just the opposite.
Carry the 3.
All right, so Opie had Steve Grillo has been making the rounds. He was on Anthony's radio show Sunday night, and he's at Gebhard's with Opie. Of course, he's promoting his new book, where it's about being an intern on the Howard Stern show in the 90s. New book. Just came out. But anyway, so Opie's got a great question for him about Howard Stern's paranoia, since Grillo was behind the scenes there.
Can you talk about Howard's paranoia? Because I got a Howard paranoia story
It
that
just,
we
you
fell
know,
into.
Do you know
about the snipers?
No, I don't know about the snipers.
All
right, so Opie goes, can you tell me about his paranoia? And then cuts him off and he goes, do you know about the snipers? And Opie wants to go into his story about Howard's paranoia. So this isn't really an interview with Grillo. Also, mic'd horribly. I apologize for the audio. It is what it is.
They're holding microphones.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we hear them at all? It sounds like a basement. What's going on there?
Well, part of the problem is the
it is a basement.
The SM58s are built for stage performances with a lot of loud music behind you. It really only picks up a very small range in front of the microphone. It's built that way specifically so that you can have a drummer behind you and it doesn't pick it up in feedback.
We call it unidirectional.
Omnidirectional.
Uni and omni, yeah.
Correct. And so these should not be used for broadcasting. It's why broadcasters, except for Ray DeVito, it doesn't use a microphone like this. It's not the right microphone to use for it. So Opie wants to talk about his story with how Howard Stern is paranoid. And by the way, Opie put this video out himself. It is called Sniper Paranoia Exposed with 2 exclamation points. So this is like some clickbait shit. All right. Sniper Paranoia Exposed. Remember, this is going to get exposed. But first, Grillo's going to talk about how, well, actually what his paranoia was being out in public, because Howard's very recognizable, very tall. He's going to get if he's walking around in Manhattan, people are going to mob him. Opie makes this about him. He's got a story.
Paranoia, like about walking in the streets.
I don't blame him for that. He was beyond famous.
Like, I mean, he's also 6'5" and he's bigger than everybody else.
I remember.
Whoa.
I remember when we were doing pretty well for ourselves, and I absolutely would get recognized a lot.
Yeah.
But I realized that he was on another fucking planet.
Yeah.
I happened to be in Central Park on a bike or something, and he was walking home through the park. I forgot who he was with, but it might have been Ralph, actually.
Yeah.
For real. It was unbelievable how much he got recognized. Like it was because he's so tall and he was very, very famous.
So Opie's story, after Grillo goes, oh yeah, if he walks around, he gets recognized. He's very tall and recognizable. Opie goes, oh, I'll do you one better. I once saw him and he was very tall and was recognized a lot. Yep. So it wasn't about like working in the same building, having the same profession, competing. Just another guy who lives in Manhattan who saw
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Hey, I got a story for that. I saw Howard and people recognize him. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was just, okay, cool. Thanks for adding that.
Why is his guest behind him? So he has to put his back to the camera to ask them questions. We can't see him. We can't hear him.
Here's a better question. Why is this guest sitting on a keg? They don't even bring stools and shit. Like, there are parts of the show, because you see all those chuckle fucks in the background there?
Yeah.
He brings each of these people in, and multiple people at a time, and they're sharing microphones. They're sitting on kegs and shit. But again, this is what Opie does because he doesn't want to be accused of trying to put effort into a real show and failing at it.
When I was young and learning how to perform on stage, when I was insecure about what I was singing, I would back away from the mic, right? Mm-hmm. It's a natural instinct. You don't want people to hear you. A sound guy will eventually come up to you if you keep doing that and say, you have to sing into the mic. You have to always sing into the mic. I know you think it sounds better when the bad parts are far away. It just makes everything sound bad. It'll sound better if you hit a wrong note while up to the mic. You have to hit the mic. He's still doing this. I'm insecure about hitting a wrong note, so I'll just make it so that you can't hear me. And I'm insecure about how I look, so I'll just make it that you can't see me. And you're spending all of this time and energy on editing these to look like a kid's TikTok, but
Yep.
every single one of your thumbnails looks exactly the same. How would I know to click on one and not the other? They're all just you blurry with this background and a lot of tiny words.
Another analogy that's actually similar to what we're seeing here with Opie. The first bass player in the Isotopes, our first shows, he had no confidence in his playing at all. He would not face the audience. He would face his amp with his back to the audience playing. And it's just like, yeah, we're trying to perform for these people. So if you could just kind of look at them, they can look at you. It'd be very helpful. But yeah, Opie's like got his back turned because of how stupid this setup is.
It's all insecurity. Just put the mic up to your mouth and say whatever bullshit you have.
So Grillo's telling this story about when a time that he was walking with Howard in Manhattan and how Howard handled that. And this gets Opie to do a Howard impression. And I have some thoughts on this impression.
So he was like, yo, it's gonna take me like an hour to get there.
Right.
So then Sony was kind of like around the block. And I just remember we were walking on the block and he's just like, whoo, whoo. Like and I was like, yeah. But there was like there was a bunch of us, and
So Opie started doing the impression that Anthony does. I can't do a Howard Stern impression to save my life, but Anthony always do the Robin.
Yeah, hoo Robin. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, he always does that bit.
And so Opie, and this is what Anthony was talking about on the show on Saturday we recorded with him, is that Opie doesn't have his own personality. He just steals from everyone he's ever talked to. And it's like he does Ron Bennington, and then he does Anthony Cumia, and then he does his Bill Burr thing. And it's like there isn't an Opie in there to be found.
It's one thing to say that my old partner is, that we worked together for all these years, things I've said are in his head and he actually thinks he said them first. That's
Right.
one accusation. This is, he was doing it while the guy was saying it. He was in the middle of doing the impression and he had to interrupt him to do the same impression, but louder and more like a dog.
Now remember, this video is called, it's on Opie's channel. It's called Sniper Paranoia Exposed. So Opie's going to tell the story here, because Grillo didn't know anything about it, about the paranoia with the sniper.
But we actually sat in Howard Stern's studio in his fucking chair.
that chair I pushed around every goddamn day.
And this was told to me, I don't know how true it is. There was a giant window that Howard had covered for most of his time at K-Rock because he was scared of snipers.
We did. I know there was no. There were windows in this around.
Do you remember a giant window?
Well, it was covered.
Yeah, it was covered. And
I
after
know,
he
but-
left, he has no idea what he was missing, by the way, because that window led to an apartment where girls would shower in the morning and get to see girls shower.
Yeah.
But he was so
But he wasn't
paranoid.
Ralph.
It was told to me he was so paranoid of snipers that they covered the window because you could see right into that.
I
window.
don't remember specifically that story.
I don't know how true
I
it is.
wouldn't
but-
doubt it.
but
I
someone
don't. I
someone
can't
at
say.
K-Rock, one of the old timers that was still there, told me that.
Yeah, like a couple of that. I'm still.
And that's how his video ends. That's not what I did. So remember, we were supposed to see how it was exposed. And it ends with, yeah, I'm not sure if that's true or not because, yeah, I don't know either. Someone just told me that. Also, I want to talk about this thing where they were watching girls shower in the morning. I don't know. I don't live in a high rise, but that seems like a terrible design. I don't see many showers that have an outdoor window as one of the walls of the shower. It seems like a really bad idea to do that. I don't believe that is my point.
You've never lived in the Big Apple, Carl.
That's true.
You know it's bullshit because he said girls. Maybe there was one apartment where they didn't close the blind. Okay, it wasn't multiple women coming in and out of this exposed.
It's not Porky's.
Yeah, what is he talking about?
It's not Revenge of the Nerds when they set up cameras inside.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And in the late 80s and the 90s, when you went after the religious right, you would have security. Anybody that was going after religion or abortion or certain things in aggressive ways, you had to have security. And I bet the company wanted there to be security so that they didn't hold responsibility for anything happened to Howard. It's paranoid stuff, but it's not crazy. He was the center of this and the kind of symbol of everything that was wrong in America for a long time. So I'm sure there were threats, and whether they were real or not, he's paranoid enough to just do something about it. I don't understand what the joke is. Like what Opie's going for.
But back to the naked showering woman, wasn't that a
Right.
Seinfeld?
Oh, is that a
Oh my God.
premise on Seinfeld?
I think Friends too.
Okay.
I think it was on both.
Maybe that's where he got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Adam. Howard Stern was hated by a very powerful people, a large group of them too. So it wouldn't be crazy to be like, hey, can I not sit next to an exposed window while I'm doing a morning show that everyone knows I'm on from
At the
6
one
till
place
11?
they know where they can find
Yeah,
me,
right,
and the
yeah.
one, where
Kinda
I am
makes
every
sense.
day. Yeah.
I went to opieradio.com. I haven't been here in a while. Wanted to see what it was doing. Right on the homepage, autographed artwork. I forgot about this. Personalized autographed artwork signed and sent by Opie himself. Original photograph taken by Opie. Once order is received, Opie will sign and mail out signed photo. Choose personalized message at checkout. And the example, he has 2 different photos that he took. One of sunset on the beach. One of it looks like a farmhouse. And he wrote on there, "You rock, Creamy Butters. Thanks for listening, Opie." So did you know that you can order a signed Opie? They're calling it artwork. I would call it photography, but
What's your P.O. box again, Carl?
yes, please, guys. I'm going to need this on the wall behind me over here next to David Lee Roth and Bruce Springsteen.
Now, if Opie was taking requests on what to photograph, that would be cool. Like a whatchamacallit rapper or
How about a Puerto Rican on the toilet?
Dog shit in Manhattan. Someone's cleaning it up. Now, I saw this navigation that says donate to Opie Radio. It's like, what? He's asking for donations. Thankfully, this link is... Oh, now it goes to the store. No, it's broken. Okay. It's broken. Thank God.
Carl, I hate to disappoint you. I don't know if you noticed the warning there, but COVID-19 update. Fulfillment times are 15 days plus shipping times now.
Jesus Christ. No one's touched this website in 5 years. Love You Miss Ya is another navigation on here. So he's got Carl Ruiz. Videos are unavailable. Video's private. Video's private. Might want to take a look at that. Vic Henley and Patrice O'Neill. Love You Miss Ya. Okay. Very good. What about the shop? Hope's all about the merchandise. Let's see what we can purchase from him. So we got the autographed artwork first and foremost.
Yeah, that's good.
But these mugs and T-shirts that just say cheers.
Cheers.
Why would I care? I have so much going on.
This is my favorite shirt. I don't listen to Joe Rogan for medical advice. Good stuff. He's got him as like a South Park character or something.
Or a Funko Pop.
Yeah, Funko Pop in his cool shades. He's got the Vic Henley famous quote, "I know, I know." You know, when Vic Henley would say, "I know, and everyone would like double over with laughter.
It was his get her done, right?
I have no idea. You dead, man. Hashtag Ruizing. Then he's got some other stupid shit. 0% vegetarian. He's got Ruizing on a mug here.
Wait, 0% vegetarian because his audience is all aggressive meat eaters and like what is that?
Oh, that's a Carl Ruiz thing.
It's Carl Ruiz.
Yeah, he used to say that. Liked his meat.
Okay.
Opie's got a lot of Carl Ruiz.
You wanted a deeper
merchandise.
explanation than that, Adam?
No, I just don't know who his audience is. Like he think like it's meat eaters. That's who's gonna. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna wear this and who's gonna.
Right, hold on, I just found a shirt that I would wear.
What's that?
Okay.
Hi doggy.
All right, let's get one of those.
Let's get one of those.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
I don't think he's manufactured 1,000 of each of these. I think they just put up the mock-ups
I
and
know.
it's
They
made
make
to
it
order.
This is great. Hold on is one of the shirts because he would ruin segments by.
And he thinks someone's
ending
gonna
them.
see someone wearing that and like point their finger and be like, "I'm with you, Opie. That's right."
And then the famous Boo tee. So that's Opie holding on to his Zoom recorder with Carl Ruiz. Like they used to go around and just record podcasts. And Carl would be like, "Boo." So that's a classic bit right there. Pretty good stuff. You guys want to check out some more videos that Opie puts up on his channel to show you how good his show is. These are the ones that he's curating himself and saying, if you ever want to check out my show, here's why. Here's some of the best stuff. This one is called The Wildest Smoking Story You'll Ever Hear.
Ooh, buckle up.
Right. This is the wildest one you'll ever hear.
I've heard some wild
she was my aunt for a
stories.
while, but then she divorced my uncle, and then she wasn't my aunt anymore. She just said, I'm done with this family. And I was thinking to myself, but I like you. Where are you going? I'm splitting. I'll never see you again. Goodbye. Goodbye. Her father had one of the holes. Yeah, one of those holes in it, that where they scare the hell out of you on the TV. How about you don't put those commercials on TV? We get it. The people that still smoke, they get it. You're not gonna turn them. Her father at the time had one of these holes where he had to hold the hole and then talk and then go. And then he would talk some more. How are you kids doing? I'm scared, mister. Why are you scared? It's okay. I can still function this way. Could you grab me my Marlboros? And I'm like, what? The Marlboros are on the kitchen counter. Can you go get them more?
So he's the one who puts the text on the screen, like you were saying, Adam, like a TikTok video. And of course, it's just AI doing it. So it's saying bar barrels when they're saying Marlboros, which is an important element of this, that the guy who's got the trachea thing is asking for his cigarettes. This is what makes it wild.
Can't fix it.
No, there's no way to fix that. Just let it go.
Oh my God, this guy, it was like a horror show. This is the God's honest truth. And then he would light up and he would smoke through the goddamn hole. I never saw anything like it in my life. It was crazy.
I mean, keep telling us that. Maybe it'll make it true. What a clip. That's the wildest smoking story I've ever. Have you ever heard of anything like that before, except for all the time, forever?
It's pretty wild.
pretty wild stuff, Opie.
This is why I love the Dabbleverse, because it was wild in one way. Like, it wasn't wild, but it was clearly traumatic. Like,
yes.
Whatever you rushed through in the beginning there, Opie, about people abandoning you and you just not dealing with it in any way. I hate to get all psychoanalytical, but it's like this guy just said a lot of really awful, horrible stuff in a kid sing-songy voice. And you could
then my aunt, she left because she didn't like my family, and I liked her.
Okay, Opie, we're glad you came into the office, but we want to ask you why you're saying all this in that voice. Can we try it again? Just,
right.
Let's connect to it and not...
How would Greg the adult explain this to me?
Right.
If he were here right now.
You just see his wife next to him, You see her, like, looking at him and then looking at the therapist and just not saying a word, being like, there it is.
See what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like this
This
all
is
the
why we left
time.
him.
All right, I have one more clip. Again, this is a video that Opie put up himself. This is the Opie Unleashed NYC channel. And so he's curating this content to promote his show. This is called Words Women Hate. Now, if you're pulling clips from WATP, or let's say WATS, because we started doing that now. My buddy Casey Day is helping us out. We're putting out some clips. Mike and I are talking about Woke Dad or King Cobra or something, and we have the clips out there. It's a specific segment. We're on topic. We're talking about a specific thing, and it lasts a certain amount of time. Opie's trying to recreate this guy. A lot of people do. It's not just me, obviously. Opie's trying to recreate this. So he's like, all right, what's the interesting part of this hour-long stream that I did? Here it is.
Can you say moist again? Yeah, I could say moist. Women hate the word. Well, you know what word they hate. The atom bomb. As soon as you use the C word on a lady, you got to pack your things. It's over, Johnny. You can't say the C word and they go, hey, so you want to go get some sushi? Moist is another one they hate. Oh, boy, do they hate the word moist. Oh, my God. Moist. Can you say...
That was it. That was the entire video. 32 seconds. That was a big topic he had on the show. Hey, can you cut up that part when I was talking about things that women don't like the word moist and the C word? Sure, Opie. I'll get right on that. We'll make a clip for your channel.
He doesn't realize that nobody wants to hear him talk about what women really want.
Yeah, I don't think he's the authority on this one, but that was that's what he puts out. Oh, how many views does that have, I wonder?
Moist.
174 in 9 days. Oof. It might be the hashtags because he wrote hashtag wordplay. Was there wordplay in that? Hashtag comedy podcast. Hashtag funny moments.
Try to figure out what the C word is.
It's crazy.
He accuses other people of being sexist and offensive, and this is the stuff that women don't want to hear from you. No one wants to hear it from you, but specifically, what would make you an expert on this topic? Like, who were you coming in contact with?
You're not getting it, Adam. It's hilarious. It's a morning radio banter.
You're right.
Do you like candy corn on Halloween? I mean, it's just the fucking most basic takes ever. Like, you know the girls that like the C word? Yeah. Yep. Learned that one.
Yeah, learned it
You
very
like
early
black
on.
licorice? Whoa.
So stupid. We have a game coming up. Cardiff has blessed us with a game, 2 minutes with Tom. Everyone can play along with. But first, I want to thank you fine folks who have been here with us. We're closing in on 3 hours on this program.
Marathon.
I know. I feel like all these idiots like Tukey and Melton are all rubbing off on me. It's too much. It's too much. We got to cut this down. We got to have meetings after this. But I want to thank all you fine folks for being here and supporting the show and going to supertip.gg/WATP like Vito's Cradle did.
Okay, this artwork is for Carl. And what does he want me to write on it? There it is. Dear Opie, I'm really glad you're still hanging out in your apartment and not in your closet. I said, best wishes, Carl. Like, what the hell does that mean? Whatever. These people are weird.
That Opie was perfect.
Yeah.
That was incredible right there. So if you're looking to invest in Super Tip, you might want to. That was spot on Opie with the stumbling and the stammering and even the voice.
I have to say, I have a new Super Tip voice coming on my next show. Moody just sent it to me today.
Oh,
it's scary.
What do we got?
Cardiff's mom coming soon.
No, wait, who's Cardiff's mom?
Well, you'll see.
Okay,
you'll have to supertip.gg
all right.
to find out.
Fair enough. I don't know if we got to this one. And have you ever seen Sarah Michelle's boobs? I can't remember if we pulled that one up yet.
No,
or
we did.
No.
It's still no. Nothing's changed since the last time we got to it. I'll let you know if it does.
The Duke of the Delusional says Howard is what he mocked. That is true. That Howard was what he was mocking. Oh, and Hellraiser coming in with a $20 super sticker. Thank you very much, Hellraiser. You brought me 25 minutes of content today, and you've donated money. Can't thank you enough. Appreciate you.
And you ruined Howard Stern's week and apparently Jimmy Kimmel's event. You really ruined it.
Awesome. So funny. Dang Lizard says, Opie does replays as fake live stream on Unleashed. Yeah. It's a weird format that he has. I just figured it out today. Coach Junior Fishing says, Jamie Kennedy made an entire documentary about his trolls trolling him. He called it heckle, something like that. It wasn't heckling. He was trolled, OTI. I do know about that. Gosh, I want to say I saw part of that. We should look into it.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, we should look into that. Lance Belko, $5 says, 2 hours behind, but Jamie Kennedy's definitely on Kratom. New level of California sober. Cardiff is the best, and I want him to know how much we love him. What? This is a troll. This is not a real person. Lance is not a real person.
Real. He loves me.
Do you think he's on Kratom? I thought Kratom like calmed people down. That's for people who like dealt with going through withdrawals and stuff. I could be way off on that.
I think so, but I think it's addictive itself. Like it becomes.
Yeah.
You take it for kratom withdrawal.
Yeah. Well, right. That would make sense. But I don't know. I didn't get that sense, but maybe that is true. Maybe our friend Annie knows. Annie, our review girl, is here. What's up, Annie?
I don't know anything about Kratom, so don't
I
ask
didn't think
me.
you would, but I just try to get a segue. I'm always trying to get a segue into the next
But Annie
thing I'm
knows how to
doing.
pronounce Vito's Gaia's cradle.
Yeah, no shit.
I do.
All right.
Chicken.
One day I'll learn it. Chicken. I'm Vito's chicken shit cradle. All right. We have a game to play. We take games very seriously on this show.
I'm due.
I like to be a winner. Oh, before we do that, though, Curtis John says, Steve from Garrett and Steve ordered a Brother Man shirt on January 4th. Still hasn't gotten his shirt. He contacted Opie on X and is still waiting. LOL. Dude, that website, no one's managing it. He probably does not have a merch person anymore. There's probably nothing going on. January 4th.
Trying to figure out how to install the drivers for his printer. He can't print labels.
Opie doesn't realize that
fucking
that stuff really does affect people. Like,
It
fans,
does.
they really do. Like, you pulled up that clip of Rosie O'Donnell, and I immediately thought of one interaction I had with her like 25 years ago. When you pay money for something and you don't get it, it's a thing. And when you write them, it's a relationship. And it really shows you how little he thinks of his fans. I got a lot of shit for comparing on that show we did. They thought I was making a deep metaphor by saying, let's compare.
Someone's reading the comments.
Hell yeah. Reading the view behind him with the duct tape that's on his camera.
right.
I wasn't making a metaphor. I was just look at how much money he spent on the view for his family and look how much money he spends on his show. You're the one who made the metaphor.
I think I'm the one to draw that conclusion on that one.
Yeah,
But,
I was simply saying he doesn't give a shit about you or any of us, and it's very true.
Hey, Adam?
Yo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get to this game. I was fired up today. I love it. I think I won.
Can you say moist again?
Stop it!
Yeah, I can say
stop
moist.
it!
Moist.
I think I won.
Hold on, I'm almost done, Carl.
Sorry about that, Annie. We know how much you don't like hearing that specifically.
Yes, right.
Yeah, it was making me mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for everyone's favorite new game show. 2 minutes with Tom. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready to find the bomb? On 2 minutes with Tom.
Always ready, never
I'll tell you a little
successful.
story. I went ahead and the other day I was at my local shopping mall. I was resting in one of those big leather chairs that vibrate, just dozing off because my career's really skyrocketing at this point. And this guy comes over, shakes me awake, and says, "You know what your problem is? You're an unapproachable dick." And then he just walked right off.
What did Tom say next? Here are your choices. Number 1. I was sleeping, Dad. B. Turns out I'm an approachable dick. Next. See you at Mass, Father O'Malley. 4. I don't think you know what unapproachable means. And lastly, he didn't even offer me one of his Cinnabon samples. 2 minutes with Tom.
Okay, Cardiff has done something very smart right here,
Thank
where you can tell there's two punchlines that are similar.
Yes.
And so Cardiff came in and he goes, "All right, it's going to be one of these two, but you're not going to know which one." I'm going to say lastly's out the window. I think it's 1B next or 4, and I'm going to say it's next. See you at Mass, Father O'Malley. What say you, Adam Busch?
I'm going to go with 4. I'll go with I don't think you know what unapproachable means because it's
Yeah.
one of these obvious jokes.
Very possible. What do you think, Annie?
I'm going to go with 1. I was sleeping.
I was sleeping, Dad. Yep. Very good. And producer Chris, what did you write down?
I went 4.
I don't think you know what unapproachable means. Yeah, that could be it. You and Adam both have that one?
Correct.
One of the people in the chat saying. Nick in Fort Wayne says Chad is cooler than the potato.
Thank you. Fort Wayne.
Wow. It's harsh stuff on here. The one pun says Tom's current bomb is his feud with Steel Toe. It's so bad. That's all I want to talk about, but it really does get boring pretty quickly. All right, I'm seeing some necks, a lot of 4s. There's a B, there's a 1. All right, let's find out. What do we got?
You know what your problem is? You're an unapproachable dick. And then he just walked right off. I don't think you know what unapproachable means.
There it is. Chris and Adam getting the W's.
Feels good.
Wait, I think there's a little treat in there for you at the end.
All right. I believe it.
I I also don't think you know what irony is.
This episode is brought to you by Hackamania.com. Use promo code COME to save more on your tickets than any other promo code out there. That's a fact, Jack. Promo code COME will save you money. Sit, Eugene, sit. Good dog.
Listen, the truth is, there is no promo code that can save you more than WATP when you go to Hackamania.com. The potato is lying.
If you want to know the truth.
If you want to know the truth about it.
Carl, how about we do this? Let's agree to this.
Oh, Jesus.
Everybody go to Hackamania.com and buy your tickets using promo code WATP.
Mm-hmm.
Then buy them again using promo code COME.
Okay.
And then wait till after Hackamania and check your credit card statement.
There you go. That
See
really
what
is the best solution. Then we'll know once and for all.
Yes.
What the deal is.
Actually, do the COME ones first. I changed that.
No, WATP first. That was the right move right there. What have we done today? We've done it all. I think it's time to wrap things up. We have some voicemails coming up, maybe some reviews. But first, I want to let Annie let people know where they can find her.
You can go to insanity.com. That's INSANNEITY.com. It's got everything that I'm working on and everything that I've worked on in the past. Thank you. Check it out.
Very good. That's what you should have on your website. I like that. Adam Busch, you have anything going on you want to talk about?
Just WATP Wednesday.
Very good. That's the Wednesday crowd loves to hear that. They're nuts. Cardiff.
Saturday crew don't.
Yeah, the Saturday people don't know what they're talking about.
They know what they did. They know what they did.
Patreon.com/Cardiff Electric. You can find the new Cardiff Electric YouTube channel at Cardiff Elect. Live streams coming soon.
Very good. Wow.
Hackamania.com promo code COME.
Cardiff back on YouTube. Did you ever think you'd live to see the day?
Just for lives.
How long do you think he keeps his channel?
Let's see. It's an experiment, especially in the Dabbleverse we have.
I was going to say,
today.
Chad is definitely going to report you immediately
Yes.
as soon as something happens. So.
My YouTube channel will unite Rob Saul and Chad Zumach.
Yes.
They will
agreed.
join forces to take me down.
Oh, those two idiots. Rob came out and said he's getting all these emails, these spam emails, getting signed up for newsletters and stuff. So he blamed Chad for doing it. And now Chad's getting the call from the collection agency and he's blaming Rob for saying that he owed I mean,
yeah. Rob specifically signed him up for the local collection agency for the area he lives in.
You can't do that, right?
Yeah, I bought you a subscription.
Doesn't make any sense.
Nuts.
But
I often use Rob as an example when I'm trying to explain to people what the Dabbleverse is, and I love explaining how Rob is somebody who is very, very sensitive about making comments about him having inappropriate relationships with his dog. He will accuse you of being a rapist, a murderer, whatever he can come up with if you say anything about him having an inappropriate relationship with his dog. But he will not stop broadcasting with the dog on his lap.
And he won't stop jerking it off either. I mean, I'm sorry. Is that
It's just
inappropriate?
how, if you hate it so much, there's just one thing you could do to stop it. Stop jerking off the dog. But he won't. He won't stop.
Right. Yeah, he just can't help himself.
Did you see Chad calling into his show the other night?
No.
No, I didn't. Oh, no, I think I did see that. Someone pulled it. Someone clipped it.
Yeah.
Rob kept hanging up on him, right? And then Chad kept calling back.
Yeah, but he kept calling back with the same joke over and over again.
I know.
Telling Rob Saul to go to Greenland.
Oh.
Over and over. That's all he had.
These guys cannot possibly be funny or put on an entertaining show. So they have to
join forces.
Well, they have to tell each other to off themselves and sign them up for newsletters and shit.
It's
Andy, we have any new reviews that have come in recently?
Yeah. I got one from Yolanda on March 19th. They
All
said, Darman, really? Please don't. It's already been done by so many others, and it's never entertaining. Try and review shows/videos that are slightly better than unlistenable. So many people bringing attention to this stupid trash never want to hear the name Darman again.
Is that a 5-star review, I hope?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Well, good. I appreciate the programming note. We didn't do Darman on our bonus show, but you should check out the bonus show, patreon.com/whoarethespodcasts, or sign up right here on this YouTube channel, because Blind Mike and I We did a show talking about Julia Fox's book again, more of that. But then we watched this video, and this guy is like Darman, but way, way worse somehow. His name is Samir Bhavnani. And the video we watched is called Boyfriend Has Hot Girl Best Friend. What He Does Is Shocking. So you're going to want to check out our bonus show. Or you can just Google that and find the video itself and watch on your own. It's definitely worth it.
They smoke through their neck?
It's wild, man. You can't believe what's going on.
Boyfriend exposed.
They abandoned
That would have been
me.
a turn for that video.
Yes. All right. Let's hit some voicemails. There is actually a bunch that came in, including this Gary in San Diego impressionist.
Hey, Carl, it's Gary in San Diego. Well, it looks like John's gonna come up to my porch and have his ding dong out, and I'm gonna put it in my mouth. Oh, what do you think of that?
All right, the only reason why I knew it wasn't him is because of the phone number that comes in. I cheated.
Otherwise, spot on.
Yeah, otherwise I was like, Gary, you all right? This is what I call a perfect listener.
Well, hello, Carl and friends. It is me, the Wednesday and Saturday listener. I have a job and can listen to both days, weekly, every episode. And now I enjoy Adam Busch on both days of the week. Also, I get to do a voicemail in less than 45 seconds. Who are you if you can't do all these things like me? Charlie ho!
Fucking nailed it. I also like how he didn't come across as smug.
Not at all.
He's one of those bi listeners.
He's a bi listener. Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
I heard the bi voice too.
All right. This, Cardiff, you might have to respond to this.
Hey, Carl. Very excited about Hackamania 2 and about the announcement that there will be docking at said event. Now, will this be competitive docking or casual? Either way, I'm stoked. In fact, I have recently undergone a reverse circumcision procedure just so I can participate. And I just want to make sure that won't disqualify me. I don't want to be warming up in the batter's box only to have producer Chris rush over with the rule book. Hey there, fella. Hold it. Let me see that thing. So, please advise men docking. Aboo.
Cardiff, you know anything about this docking competition that's going on?
Tukey and I had a meeting about it, but we realized neither one of us would be able to dock with each other. So we passed on the idea. But you're free to do it on your WATP, whatever you want to do.
We got a lot of time to fill. Yeah, we might do a little bit of that. Team Queef and Beef has been a member for 4 months. Says, hi, Carl. Last month, I asked if you ever played with Underwater Bosses. You didn't know what that meant. They are a band like yours. Love you. Good night. I'll look into the Underwater Bosses. Thank you. Chris is writing it down right now so we can check it out. And I'll be very offended if they suck. They're a band like yours, and you listen, you're like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, prepare yourself, Carl.
Thanks for that. Jesus.
Sounds like this.
Speaking of bands, I have a request coming in.
Hey.
Will you please fucking tell Bill to get Brent back in Mastodon?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just saw Leviathan in its entirety last summer, and I need to see Blood Mountain in its entirety, and I can't see it if Brent's not in the fucking band. Go, Carl, go. This is all I need from you. I will up my Patreon. Fix this, please.
I think it's out of my hands at this point. I don't think I can get Mastodon back together.
You don't think you have the power?
Did you try?
All right. I didn't try. I didn't think it was any of my business. And I assume Bill probably doesn't have a lot of control over that either at this point. So, yeah, Brent quit Mastodon, Hidden Hand Media. Right in the middle of the tour, too. But I was excited to see Privacy coming back this summer with their new drummer. Might want to go check that out. Baloney Factory reached out to me. Talked about going to Detroit to see them. Somebody's shows in Detroit. Should we just move to Detroit?
It seems that way.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that too. Oh, I should mention too, because Dick talked about this on his show. We are still working on a Boston show. It might happen in June. There's a June 21st date that we're hoping for. So if you're in the Northeast, New England area, Save the date, June 21st. We'll see what happens. All right. The big topic on the show lately has been pineapple and bacon on pizza. It's all anyone wants to talk about. It's all anyone's talking about in the subreddit. So let's address it.
Hey, Carl. Just want to let you know, I tried your stupid fucking bacon and pineapple pizza. Good, not great.
What?
Still shouldn't be on the pizza. Huh. Also, I was wondering, when am I going to get those pictures of Jenny Jingle's juicy mommy milkers? You said once I sent the pictures of my balls, I would get them, and I never did. So, yeah, call me back.
By the way, speaking of that, we might have Kyle Photographer might have found some more talent.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Instead of the other way around. Last time it was me fighting the talent. But this time it might be Kyle Photographer. So stay tuned for that. That guy called back in with a follow-up.
Following up on that voicemail I left at about 1 a.m. last night. So my wife overheard me leaving that voicemail, and she's pretty upset right now. She said there's certain things that she just doesn't find funny and that I shouldn't make light of. So just want to set the record straight here. Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Anyway, call me back about that other thing.
I see what you did there, sir. I see what you did.
Well, if he's curious, Opie has a list of what women like and don't like, and he can just follow that and avoid.
Good point.
Any
They're like moist, Adam.
Hot topic.
Boner guy.
Vote Carl at thecreepoff.com. Fucking this question guy, he's got me all turned around. If I pay for the streaming, can I watch it after the show? Of course you fucking can. What possible reason would there be for there to be a fucking streaming version that you couldn't watch afterwards? When's that ever been a thing, you fucking idiot? And then I keep my messages to a tight 45 seconds. I bet you don't even like the Bills, do you? I like some other fucking American soccer sports team. Oh, go Bills.
Bob Water guy's fired up about this, but then he called back.
No, I'm just kidding. You're all right. That was a pretty good question, actually.
It was a good question. If you sign up at dabblecon.live, you can stream the programs that we put up there anytime thereafter. Good question. All right, well, we talked about my wife's milkers. Who else can we talk about?
Hey, Carl. JFT here. Can we start a GoFundMe or, PayPal, Streamlabs, all that other shit? How much for Lucy to show her big, beautiful cans? Like, I'll contribute to the fund. I got my lube. I got my KY. My pants are already off. I'm ready to go. So let me know if we got to see those big love muffins. And, yeah, I'll contribute. All right. Sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. All right. Sorry, Grandma. I was on the phone. What were you saying now? Oh, shit.
We're working on it. It's a work in progress still, everybody.
I'll chip in some Rumble rants for that.
All right. Very good. Maybe I'll just make an AI version of it and not tell her. Gary in San Diego.
Aaron got into trouble doing stuff like that. You might want to not announce that on the show.
Pretty good spot for a tattoo, am I right? Huh?
Whoa, what's this text you just sent me, Carl? Let me just open it while we're on the air still, and there's a document of this.
Your boy done good.
Hey, Carl. Well, I guess I was a little under the weather last time I called you.
Sound like shit.
But I'm feeling a lot better now.
Good.
Anyway, it's been a while since John had his final podcast. And at that time he said he would come back for a non-negotiable $1,000 interview,
right.
long-form interview. So far, it's been quite a while, and nobody's ponied up to that bar to pay him the $1,000. I'm wondering, do you think somebody he'll come back if somebody offers him maybe $500 or $250 or $100? At what point will he come back? Will his non-negotiable point of view change, or is he completely out of it and he'll never come back? What do you think? I'm thinking that at some point you'll be able to grab him for about $100, which would be great. I'd pay $100 to interview him for an hour. Rock and roll,
Gary. I'll tell you the problem with that, the flaw in that thinking. John is a compulsive liar. So talking to John and being like, hey, what have you been up to the last couple months? Oh, I've been on my boat. I'm an executive at an ad agency. Just like, okay, well, what are we talking about then? What the fuck is the point of any of this?
People are always comparing John to this guy, Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance, because they both have no neck, and they're both like deeply unlikable and short. And
Very short.
Yeah. The Big Ed was very, very popular for a while. He was making money off of social media, and now you can see him walking around the town that he lives in with a sign that says $20 for pictures. And he just walks around, and people stop him because he's noticeable. John's going to be doing that in Cape Coral in about a month or two if he doesn't come back soon.
He might want to go to Times Square to do that.
That'd be great, but he can't compete with those
I
Superman.
was going to say, what would he make more money doing, a Spider-Man or Stuttering John from the Howard Stern Show?
Yeah. No, he's an icon and all, but I don't think he can compete with Ren and Stimpy.
Get a picture of me with Slimer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, the leprechaun. Holy shit. Yeah, leprechaun.
I assumed you would want him dressed up as Spider-Man. My mistake.
Here's a guy who hates Gary in San Diego.
Hey, Carl, Gary, and San Diego, go away. No one cares. Listen to me and my scrupulous voices.
Opie's
I
catching
stand
on.
with Gary.
All right, I stand with Gary as well.
Justice for Gary.
Guys, pineapple on pizza. What do you think?
Sorry, Carl. I a little bit late to listening to Wednesday's show. But yeah, pineapple on pizza is fucking good. Bacon's good.
Yep.
Something else that's really good is the banana peppers that guy mentioned is also a banger.
Agreed.
In combination with the other two ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you can't go wrong with it. Pineapple on pizza is fucking goated. Everyone that says otherwise is fucking gay, or they're straight if they're gay. You know, whatever their preferred sexual orientation is, swap. That was the joke.
That's good.
Secondly, I forgot what I was going to say, but it looks like I'm under 45, over 45 now. So, you know, sorry, you can cut this voicemail short. Just, you know, I got the good stuff in, and now I'm like rambling. So
He wants you to cut his
I trust
voicemails?
you.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't edit. Like, that's not my job to edit your shit. I edit a lot of other things. I like that thing where people realize that they're going too long, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going too long. I can't believe I'm going too long. This is probably a problem, right? That I'm going too long. Shut the fuck up. Hang up the phone. But thank you for your call about pineapple. You're right about that. Banana pepper, even a jalapeno pepper. I
am starving.
I know. We need to eat some food. All right. Saturday listener calling in about Adam. Shit. The Saturday listeners don't hear Adam until this past Saturday.
Hey, Carla. This is a Saturday listener. What the hell is this Adam Busch? Keep that shit on Wednesdays. We don't need that shit over here. Go fuck yourself.
Jesus, Saturday listeners are harsh.
He has a point, though. He has a point.
Yeah, he brought up a couple good points. That's why I played it. Here's another important call.
Hey, Carl. I just called. Forgot to tell you I tried pineapple and bacon. Fucking knocked my socks off.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself. Bye.
Knocks your socks off, pineapple and bacon on pizza. Thank you. They act like I was the crazy one. Here's an interesting idea.
Hey, Carl and Chris. All this talk about getting John a political career reminded me of the time my dad accidentally got voted in as, like, cemetery keeper. The real trick to getting John a, like, weird political position is keep it small. Keep it something that, like, people could accidentally vote him in. And, like, the best part about John is that because it's a title, he will absolutely accept it, no matter how dumb, no matter how asinine, and no matter how much work actually is involved in it. He'll pick up that title and just carry it with pride, and then he'll get fired. Thanks.
What do you think? Is that the strategy? He's not going to become the senator or a congressperson from Florida, but...
Custodian.
Comptroller.
Comptroller? Yeah, I wouldn't trust him in that role either. But, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people running for it. You never know. Considering John's got a name. Maybe get him on there.
He has his dog's diploma on his wall as one of his accomplishments.
What about like a neighborhood? What about like a neighborhood beautification society or just something?
Have you seen his lawn? Doesn't even make sense.
I'd say he'd be good at it.
Guys, as you know, I host a lot of different shows And when good ideas come to me, I roll with them.
I think that we should call the Opie Roundtable Point Doggy Point. Call me back.
Point Doggy Point coming soon. Who are these podcasts?
Nailed it.
I'll come on and defend. You'll finally have a show where there's a second point.
You had a chance today to be a counterpoint.
Well, it was hard today.
All right, here's last voicemail. Ronnie in Syracuse talking about Opie's duct tape.
Hey, Carl. Ronnie in Syracuse. Love you. Love the show. Just wanted to say I appreciate you guys rotating Jenny and Lucy for the net news segment. I really am being serious, and it's really been enjoyable. Each one of them brings a different energy and a different spin to it, so I like that. But I wanted to comment on a couple shows ago. You were talking about Opie using duct tape for his camera and his cheap setup, and Anthony was talking about what it costs to buy a good setup, which isn't much. But it's just interesting because, I mean, today with Amazon, you can order one of these like Grillo mounts where you just had the flexible arms and stuff. It's like a mini tripod. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
It's just, it doesn't make sense that Opie would go this route. And even more strange to me is that what does Opie even have duct tape for? I don't think he fixes anything around the house. I'm sure he pays people to do it.
Good point.
So it's just weird to me. I mean, I know he was duct taping the camera in the car. He might not be doing that at home. But, I mean, I did a little bit of YouTube stuff and a little bit of an audio podcast at one point. And before I did anything, I tried to, you know, do what I could to make it sound and look decent. So hope I didn't go too long.
You did.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
I liked your point about why would Opie have duct tape. It's not like he's doing duct work. Maybe at Gebhardt's, that's what he's doing when they're not recording the show.
That was the investment he made in his show, the purchase of that duct tape. That was it.
Right. All right. Speaking of the Opster.
I gotta go. Bye. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
We can wrap this one.
Shouldn't be this way.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you on